Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everybody from all around the world, hello and welcome to another episode of The Welch Report with me, your host, Jean-Luc Welch. Let's make some noise. Everybody, clap it up, get excited, wherever you are, at your job, at school, in the park. I don't care where you are, this is the place to be for all of your boxing and sports educational needs. Oh yes, indeed, we're excited to have you here with us, and we got a big day of predictions and breakdowns. Oh yes, the weekend is here. It's almost Saturday, and it's almost the most monstrous weekend of this entire 2026 calendar season. We are on the brink of one of the most destructive weekends in boxing, with INOUE and NAKATANI and BENAVIDEZ versus ZURDO fighting against each other. Vote for the unified titles with BENAVIDEZ and ZURDO at cruiserweight, and the undisputed championships at super bantamweight for INOUE and NAKATANI. We're gonna be giving you my predictions and breakdowns on it all. We've been hitting tidbits of said conversations. We've been delving into stuff as the weeks have gone on, but now it's time for the big kahuna. It's time for the big show. It's time for the final predictions on my end to tell you exactly how I think these fights are going to go down and who's gonna be the men to come out on top as the crown jewels of boxing's biggest weekend today. Oh, I can't wait for it. Oh, I'm excited for it. Oh, it's going to be incredible. And I can't wait to see you all's reaction and thoughts to everything involved with it. And we got people in the chat, like with Matt Borgeson. How you doing? Good to see you. Also, Wise Man, welcome back. Salute to you, and thank you all for tuning in. And hey, if this is your first time, we got to make sure we do our intro correctly. Welcome to The Welch Report. I'm your host, Jean-Luc Welch. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Come on and join in on the hottest show in all of the globe right here on YouTube and on every podcasting platform imaginable. Rate us 5 stars wherever you listen to podcasts. Leave a like on the video. It means a world of difference to us as a channel. One like makes us go out to the ether of all the social media platforms across the globe, and especially here on YouTube. And be sure, hit the notification bell so you can keep up with this channel and do the most important thing, which is to share the show with everybody that you know, so we can keep on building up this empire together. All with you and your support, we can make this thing into the hottest thing imaginable, the hottest show, like I said, in all the globe, and the most spectacular community possible. You all are already that, but hey, we want to invite everybody in. We want more people to be involved with the empire. Come join this army that we're accumulating and be a part of a phenomenal community. And we appreciate you all tuning in. And if you want to support the channel, Cash App, PayPal, links down below if you can afford to, as well as Super Chat, Super Gift, stickers, and the like. We're crowdfunding. You all are the people that make the difference. And so if you all can help invest in this show, give alms to the empire. Oh, trust and believe. We will invest it back into the show to make it bigger, better, and stronger for you all to witness and enjoy, as well as to help you pay some bills on the side. Hey, so we're going to make sure we hit this thing set off right. Also, Al Buga, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show. And hey, we have a whole host of conversation to talk about. We got a whole bunch of things to discuss. So without further ado, we got boxing to cover. We got sports to delve into. We got predictions to break down. And we got, essentially, the time to do what we do best, which is to entertain the masses across the globe. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to talk about boxing, and it's time to step into the ring. Yes, sir. Come on. Let's get it started. Hey, buddy. First topic of the day of the two big fights of this weekend. We're going to talk honestly. It could go. We could talk about each one first and foremost. I think we're going to talk BENAVIDEZ ZURDO first, and then INOUE NAKATANI second. Unless y'all want to talk about the other fight first with INOUE NAKATANI. But I think we're going to lead off with the discussion of how exactly we can see between the biggest, or secondly, excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm thinking too quickly for my own good. As we're discussing all these weekends of fights, biggest thing we got to talk about, I think, is the most, I'll say legacy defining in the vein of superstar status to be able to be achieved for one particular fight, and that is BENAVIDEZ versus ZURDO Ramirez. Yes, indeed. Oh, yes. We're ready for this fight. And again, this is the second fight of the night, but this is the, I guess, crowning opportunity for Benavidez to reach the pinnacle of stardom and grandiose affair in the aftermath that has the public viewing him as potentially one of the four faces of the sport of boxing. It's possible if he wins at cruiserweight. But exactly how can this get done? Because who's going up against Brother? This is a man who has 40 plus fights, 30 KOs, and is a brother who is experienced in every vein and is a solid built cruiserweight. Yes, and he's fit into this frame, and Benavidez just getting into it. Well, let's break it down, shall we? How can we see this fight going? And what can we see exactly go down? And the biggest thing is the tail of the tape. This is the first time we would have ever seen Benavidez be outmatched in size. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. It's a new frame of area for the likes of Benavidez. Yes, he's been at bigger divisions, like with Gavazdik, like with David Morrell when he fought light heavyweight at the Yard. We get that. But in terms of outright stature, he's been at least even with about everybody he's going up against, if not completely towering over every single person. Don't forget, he was called a white bully at 168. Everybody said, this man don't even belong down here in the super middleweight division. And so he's been able to tower over the course of his whole career every single opponent just about. Now, this is the first real, I guess, drop in size advantage. This brother is not the biggest man in the ring. This man is not the most imposing figure that is standing across against him. This man is giving up physicality in a way he's never had to before. Now, that's going to equate to a good and bad thing. The bad part is this brother can get knocked out. Oh, it's real. Oh, yeah, no, that's real. That's real. That's real. That's not fake. That's actually real. This is a brother who can actually get knocked out from Zurdo Ramirez. That power from Zurdo is not a fluke situation. Yes, a lot of knockouts came from when he was moving up 168, or not 160, excuse me, 175, going into cruiserweight, and he still had no stoppages at cruiserweight. I understand that. But it is the same situation that we see with Benavidez, with the volley of concussive shots that can go through and stop opposition. That's normally what we see Benavidez do. That's also what we now have going against Benavidez. Zurdo has that similar level of type of vein when it comes to stopping opponents. The mentality. I'm going to overwhelm you. I'm going to go and outwork you. And I'm going to go and break you down with my punches. Break you down with my shots. Break you down with my slickness and fluidity. And that's going to be a situation where it's not a mirror matchup where, oh yeah, Benavidez is facing somebody that's just like him. But he's facing off against somebody that uses a similar vein of thought process. That's going to be something that's going to be interesting to see how exactly at a disadvantage in size Benavidez can deal with it. And it can be a potential opposition, coupled with the fact that, hey, we've seen Benavidez buzzed, caught, rocked at this division of light heavyweight and above, like when he was against David Morrell, caught twice, and people still bring up when he got knocked down at 168 earlier in his career with a legitimate shot. Even though he was off balance when it landed, he still got caught flush and got put down. People still say now, hey, you've been vulnerable there. You've been vulnerable before you got to cruiserweight, especially at light heavyweight, and now you are going to be against somebody who, if any of those same shots land, you could be in some real trouble. Hey, you could be in a situation you may not get up. Oh my. And everybody's saying, well, the Mexican monster may just be slain by another Mexican warrior. Can you believe it? That's what that's the sentiment from the physical perspective. Game plan wise, he's dealing with somebody that also has a similar motor. Zurdo can go. That brother can go. Oh yeah. I'm telling you, if you have not been familiar with Zurdo Ramirez, one of the biggest attributes of him isn't just the volume, isn't just the slickness and or rather the fluidity of his punches and the ease. They can go and disguise his shots, tide his offense, coming up and landing hooks after ducking down against somebody, using head movement to go essentially use as body feints as well as avoidance to go and set up clean shots. Being able to punch in between punches, those are Ramirez's game abilities. But, same breath, this brother can go for days. This cat can punch. Most of the reason why he's able to go and do what he's done at cruiserweight is because he's bringing a light heavyweight motor up to this division. It's the same brother that fought against Bivol, and now fighting at cruiserweight, he's fighting at that same pace. Which, when you get to these bigger weight classes, when you get to these bigger landscapes of quality, or rather, big boy opposition, the stamina starts to drain. One of the reasons why we see Usyk be able to do what he was able to do wasn't just because he was so great at cruiserweight and heavyweight, but also because he was able to work at a pace that others couldn't. Now, that's what Benavidez is going to have to go with, which has also been his MO as well. I can go and keep my pace up and my speed up and my volume, my concussive power, my concussive flow up into the championship rounds. Ironically enough, that's the end of our show. But into the championship rounds 7 and on, Benavidez can keep it up. And now ZURDO is also that same type of motor-driven fighter, especially with the cruiserweight division. So you go against somebody who your pace isn't going to potentially outpace them, or their car can keep up with you. Ooh, we can have some dilemma. Ooh, we can have some problem. We can have some concern. Tell the tape, hey, there is some discrepancy going against Benavidez that we have to be honest with. Though ZURDO may not be a known name in the greater landscape of the boxing world, may not be as popular, this man is real. He's real. That's just talking about the physical side. But if we're talking about skill-wise, this man loves to pivot. Man loves to go around his opponents. Man loves to go and turn you into the corner. That's what ZURDO loves to do. Keep you busy with some offensive shots. Get your guard up held high, land something flush, and then boom, angle back out. Circle back around. Most of the time he's circling the same way, but he's doing it regardless. Keeping you busy, landing some good thudding shots, and then turning you around. He can move as much as he wants to move forward. He can also move left and right. He's crafty brother. Like I said, and like I had in the shorts that I posted yesterday, underappreciated ability in his boxing sense. He can be a real problem, especially what we see with, go back to the fight with Caleb Plant with Benavidez. Benavidez had to take some real time to catch and wear down Caleb Plant because of the fact that the movement was not necessarily giving him trouble. Oh yeah, I'm concerned about you moving. But just the fact that target was able to go and use all angles rather than just going forward and backwards. Took him a minute before he could really land on the head and body and with the consistency that he wanted to against Caleb Plant. Now, once he did, well, we saw what happened. The brother went and broke his face and pushed everything up asunder in a debilitating performance. That, again, we still talk about to this day. But the work to get there, why was it so hard? Well, it was because of the movement. And ZURDO does have underappreciated movement. And so these are the things that can give Benavidez trouble. However, even with all that being the case, I'm going to tell you this right now. Who I got winning is David Benavidez. Yeah, I'm dead serious. Yeah, that's who I got winning. That's who I got winning. And I'm going to tell you what. And again, this is still a breakdown. It's still a prediction. But I'll break my prediction early. I got Benavidez winning. And that's because all of those things that ZURDO will bring are going to be simply not enough. That's not a cop-out answer. It's because ZURDO at that level is still elite, no question. But when you look at the Benavidez that we see now, this was the Benavidez a couple years ago, those things could have been a problem. Now, this is a different monster. This man is, with all due respect to ZURDO, a better, well-rounded fighter all around. This brother ain't just the monster. This man is a surgical genius. We've seen him be more patient. We've seen him be more compatible with styles that seemingly should work against him. We've seen him have the ability to go through and not just work in very violent affairs, but now set traps, outthink boxers. That their whole thing is thinking, outmaneuver, defensively and offensively. Some of the best workers that we have in multiple divisions. He's been able to nullify and take away not just some of the most athletic fighters that he's faced off against, like with David Morrell, or power punchers like David Lemieux. He's been able to siphon their skills and turn them into what he wants them to be. Anthony Yard, brother who was already trying to be on the back foot, use his speed and hand speed to try to go and surprise Benavidez and keep him at bay, fighting very defensive because he was scared. Well, Benavidez was able to take all of that and turn him into, okay, you want to be timid? I will turn you into the planted fighter on the ropes that lets me work like I want to work. And as the fight went on, we saw him siphon away the confidence, siphon away the wanting to use his own physical ability, and turn him into a stationary target that he could just go and work like he wants to work with. Walk him down and take him out. He turned him into that. He's turned other opponents into that. He's molded them to what he wants them to be. And he can do that same to the Benavidez. ZURDO turning around, it also is a pattern. ZURDO pivoting also turns into a pattern. There's a rhythm to it that also he, to some degree, he does it at a point that if you can't catch on, you can't catch him. Brought him yesterday, he can get landed on with the left hook. That's absolutely true. At the same breath, it's not just the catching him after his own hooks, or rather catch him after his jab that can go and potentially cause trouble for ZURDO. Benavidez, if he catches onto this, would most likely be able to have a better chance to knock him out. And that is, ZURDO loves to duck. Not duck opposition, but he loves to duck under punches. As much as he is a tall fighter, and he's taller than Benavidez, he shrinks himself down, yeah, to become a smaller target. But how does he do that? A lot of his offense, even when he's walking forward, he's dipping down. He's dropping his head. He's trying to make himself smaller to roll under shots or to let stuff pass over. And then he comes up with his own big shot of his own. He does that against Benavidez. That's going to be dangerous if Benavidez catches on to it. Because that's, boom. One of the biggest things that ZURDO likes to land is the uppercut. But I'm telling you, that the way he ducks, if you can catch that pattern, the uppercut's right there for Benavidez. 2 or 3 will know in the speed that we see Benavidez fight. And if he catches on to that, you take away that plane of defensive maneuvering. Well, now you turn Ramirez into a more upright fighter. Because one of his exits that he loves to use is now gone. And if he does that, well, that's when the offense of Benavidez starts to really take hold. And now we're getting into some trouble. Now we're getting into some trouble. Now we're getting into some danger. You're getting into some danger. Real danger for ZURDO. Because if you turn into, okay, it's upright. And hey, my defensive tactics normally let me keep my work going, keep my flow moving, keep my ability to go and outwork my opposition. That don't work. And I'm getting tagged more than I want to. Well, there's one other X factor in this fight that I see that's going to make the difference for Benavidez. And that is, if you go back and watch the fight, I believe with Smith, was it Bellum Smith that we saw ZURDO fight against? ZURDO has a mean streak. He's got a mean streak. He really does. That mean streak is when, especially if you can get him early, because ZURDO is somebody who you can get him for the first 2 rounds. You can land a lot of stuff on him. You can land a lot of stuff on him. Go back and watch Smith fight. Go back and watch what's the fight? But it was the brother that he fought started with the G. I think it was the first fight that he won a title against. First 2 rounds, ZURDO was vulnerable to get caught with some stuff. Again, kind of not a slow starter, but the rhythm catches after round 3 and beyond. But in the midst of that, and as subsequently within the fight, he's got a mean streak that he'll just say, all right, bet, I'll get a little reckless. And I'll just start throwing for broke. Yeah, my speed will be faster. Oh, I'll be a lot sharper. I'll be throwing with some real steam. But I'm straight up here now. Guard and stuff, I'll put that down a little. And I'll go and I'll 4 or 5 punches really with some work, trying to push you off and push you back. He does that against Benavidez. One thing about it, it's not as controlled in that brief spite of rage like we see with Benavidez. And he is going to get beat. When that volley starts to fly and this war that we know is going to come starts to enter, okay, straight up, we big dog, let's see who can got it. Let's see who got it. Let's see who can work. Let's see who can go and get the better. It's a Mexican war, ain't it? It's time for us to stand and bang. Benavidez is better controlled in that environment. And he, crazy enough, is a better inside worker. And that's where that fight's going to be. If ZURDO starts to get reckless and ZURDO starts to throw more punches than he should, he's going to start getting tagged. And the same stuff of normally I'm able to catch you with my speed. I'm able to catch you with my fluid punches. And that ZURDO does against other opponents, he's going to get done to him. And because of that, I think we're going to see Benavidez win. I think it's going to be by unanimous decision. I wouldn't be surprised if it was by stoppage, but I think a competitive fight up until round 7, and then Benavidez starts to pull away. Now, we see him handle work like we normally do. And then, INOUE unified champion of the world, Dave Benavidez at cruiserweight. Yes, indeed. That's what I think will happen. At least that's my prediction of how this fight is going to go. But I want to see your thoughts and reactions to it as we're going to read what you all got to say. Benavidez is going to piece this man up by unanimous decision. We got people like Truth. Hey, Truth, what's going on with you? You say ZURDO keeping the belts. I don't think he is. I don't think ZURDO's going to be able to keep these belts. I think it's going to be that he loses. I really do. And again, mind you, since we're doing straight up predictions, trying to give my whole thoughts in one fell swoop in terms of like, boom, this is what I think each one can do. This is what I think is going to be the X Factor. This is what I think is going to win. Kind of in a full succession so y'all can get the full scope of my opinions. And then jumping back in, we're going to see what you all got to say. At least that's how we're trying to roll it, to keep it as fluid as we can. But, yeah, no, I don't think ZURDO keeping the belt. This is, because see, the biggest thing about the physical advantage, it's not as big as we see. And a lot of the stuff that we see ZURDO have that made him so successful here at cruiserweight, which again is still legitimate skill, Benavidez has as well, but he's better than him. He's better than him. Not to mention, don't forget, we were saying that Benavidez has a good chance at beating Bivol. And ZURDO got dominated by Bivol. It wasn't close. And we're saying Benavidez is closer to beating Bivol than ZURDO was at that point in time when he fought. Now, I'm not saying using that as the only thing as to, oh, yeah, that's why we can say Benavidez is better. No, I'm not. I'm not using it. But I am saying from that point into now, we have seen Benavidez evolve into somebody that a lot of the stuff that ZURDO is able to do, Benavidez is now knowing how to operate in these types of fights and beyond. He's wise behind it, beyond his years. Crazy enough, he's still incredibly young. And his experience, even though we've seen ZURDO fight immensely against a lot of competition, Benavidez has been quickly, even with less fights, created a resume that's denser. He's created a resume that is more notable, not just with recognizable names, but with the talent and accolades that those names have garnered or experienced in their respective careers. He's faced off against them. And he's been able to pass this test in a way better framework than some people even expected him to. This man is a problem because he is not just a one-dimensional fighter. He's a fighter that wants to fight in one dimension. But he has clearly shown, hey man, I'm one of the best well-rounded warriors here. straight up. And physicality, or a lack of physicality, that I can bring as an advantage doesn't faze me at all. That's what makes Benavidez so special. That's what makes him so dominant. That's what makes him so destructive. That is the very essence of why Benavidez is such a problematic figure. This brother can't be stopped, regardless of what we think is the biggest advantage of him, which is his frame. Without that, he's still able to be the same exact fighter. We were saying this when he was fighting at 175 when he first got into the division. This brother was it was a bigger division, bigger framework, people that were at least closer to his body, and he was still able to go and decimate everybody in the same vein without having the quote-unquote excuse that people were using. Hey, man, you just too big for this division. Nah, I'm just like that, straight up. And ZURDO, again, this isn't disrespect to him, but when you're dealing with somebody like Benavidez, this is the type of stuff that this is the type of stuff that happens. You're just against a better fighter, and you have the tools to beat him, but Benavidez uses his tools better than you. And he's done it against names that are indeed worth their weight in salt, even with less fights than you on your resume. The brother, he's just that dominant. He's just that destructive. And more than that, he's technically, he's a monster. That's the thing. He's a monster. In every sense of the word, he's a monster among men. Like Braun Strowman, but in this case, way more viable and straight up outright dominant. But I want to keep on reading what you all have to say. He's a good one. Oh, hold on. We got back. Yo, Matt Borges, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in. And hey, I already said hi already, but thank you for the $5 super chat on the show. Yes, indeed. We got paid today. Yes, sir. And we appreciate the love and support so much. Matt Borges, and let me see what you got to say. He's a good one-dimensional fighter, but Benavidez is one-dimensional. He's a good one-dimensional fighter, but Benavidez is one-dimensional. You have seen him make an adjustment aside from plot forward with stamina. No, I have. Like I said, he's a fighter. Again, I appreciate the chat. I disagree. He's a fighter that, yes, he wants to fight one way, but I call him one-dimensional because normally one-dimensional fighters, when it comes to doing the other small pieces of what makes a boxer a great boxer, they don't do it. They don't. That's for real. They don't do it. If they did, it would be even better. I mean, granted, Isaac Cruz, that's a one-dimensional fighter. That brother, there's no adaptation. It's straight up, we block, we move. Benavidez, he uses multiple blocks. He switches up his own pace. He's able to fight on the outside. He's able to use footwork and has done it against opposition. Inside work, if the fight gets close and he can't use his range or his best range of where his power and speed are accentuated the most, which is crazy enough, that mid-range area, guess what he's able to do? Still, in the clinch, work. And work in the way that he's controlling, he's maneuvering you, and he's making you succumb to what he wants to do. And on the outside, guess what he can do? Work his way in and not get frazzled by somebody with a good jab that can't go and, like with other people that have not been able to get around one of the most basic weapons in boxing, which can also be the best weapon in boxing, depending on how you use it. Which, if you rule the jab, you rule the world. We get that. But that's what Benavidez is when it comes to him fighting. He wants to fight in one dimension. That is all that we get that completely. He is a come forward fighter. He is somebody that his mind is still seek and destroy. But the multi-dimensions don't just mean, hey, now I'm switching up and I'm boxing. Now I'm switching up and I'm pivoting left and right. It's not like that. A multi-dimensional fighter is able to accomplish the same goal in a way that it's still their game plan. But you see the small nuances in, oh, this should be a thing that should dilute their ability, but it doesn't. Why? Because they found a way around it. I've said this multiple times. It's the small stuff in boxing that makes somebody a phenomenal fighter. And a one-track mind versus a mind that has the ability to be malleable doesn't always mean that I'm going to change what I do. And I'm going to fight in another dimension entirely, because that goes away from what I am. Devin Haney, he's a one-dimensional fighter. As we've seen for the majority of the year, that brother wants to stay on the outside and box. He jab and move. Jab, move, and clinch. But you've seen his skills. He's got so many more skills. He's not just one-dimensional, but he wants to fight one way. And he's sticking to that one way. But his ability, we've seen over the course of his whole career, hey, yeah, I can go and work on the inside if need be, like I did against Lomachenko. When I trust my body, I can actually lay in some heavy leather. When I actually say, hey, I'm a big dude. When I choose to make that, we've seen him do things that if he was you're only able to go and fight in this type of way. We tried it, wouldn't work. But with Benavidez, it does work. Again, with Devin Haney, it does work as well. But I'm using Devin Haney as an example. With Benavidez, similar thing. This man wants to stick and destroy. But how he does it, he's not shifting his game plan entirely. Again, he ain't INOUE. Well, he'll jab you out one round, dog you out the next, and then be defensive, make you miss outright for the next round, and then go through and fight. Be like Ali skipping around the ring, throwing jabs, leaving his feet. He ain't like that. He ain't like Roy Jones Jr., who will go through left hand, right hand, behind his back, backwards, forwards. Whatever way I choose to do it, I'll just do it. He's not like that, but he still is a multi-dimensional fighter, with his main game plan being, I'm trying to put you out. Because again, it's not the grandiose stuff that changes. It's the small stuff. And we've seen it. The defensive shifts, the patience, the situational guard. Again, not show defense, but actual foundational defense. Pre-slipping and using head movement before getting in. Being able to duck down in his own way and get under shots. Playing the jab game with somebody and being able to overcome their ability, even if they have a longer length. Cutting off the ring when somebody's trying to move. Working to the body when somebody is vulnerable. When they're on the ropes, when they're off the ropes, the dominance of offensive firepower always shows through, because their ability is multi-dimensional, even though their game plan is we're trying to do one specific thing. That's what I mean when I say he's a multi-dimensional fighter. And he's that great. And again, he's shown, you can go back and watch the fights, he's shown it that he's insane and he's incredible. Let me see. Not only that, but he jumped up in weight class. He jumped in weight to fight Jai Bataille and chose to fight the second best guy at cruiserweight to see how good he is in the weight class. If that isn't dog mentality, I don't know what is. Yeah, no, you're right. You're absolutely right. He's durable. He can take a punch and brings the energy back. That's what makes someone special. Someone that's just one-dimensional is someone like in Billy or Sean Porter. Now Sean a little bit different. Sean also had that. You know, he wouldn't be able to fight like he was able to fight if he was only able to get one thing, because it would be like Isaac Cruz and a lot of the fights that he won, he wouldn't have been able to win, or he wouldn't have been as tough. I guarantee you, he needed to be multi-dimensional to be able to make him win the majority of those rounds against Terrence Crawford. That ain't no one-dimensional fighter. But I get the sentiment that you're coming from, and I see what you're saying, and I agree. For the most part, I agree. And this is for a lot of stars. I'm not going to paint a broad scope, because, again, everybody can be different. But for the majority of fans, there is and not saying you all, but the nuances of why a fighter's able to do what they're able to do kind of gets lost in the big thing of, okay, this is their main identity. Because think about it this way. Mike Tyson got power. Everybody didn't talk about all the other stuff. It was just he got power. Now, Mike Tyson is one of the best technical heavyweights that we've seen. He should not have been able to be what he was at 5'10", 5'11", in the land of giants that was evolving at that point in time. And he was still able to be the best man on the planet. Technically, this man was a savant. Defense, punch perception, speed, angles, using his jab even as a smaller man. He was a great, multifaceted fighter. But the power was the only thing that held him. And then it was like, okay, he's a power puncher. He wants to knock you out. He's a destructor. He is. But the biggest thing was he was a counterpuncher. But people didn't care about that. People didn't even think about it. Because it was just, he's knocking you out. He got the rest of the skills he got lost in translation. Not because it wasn't there, but because the biggest thing of what he is was the biggest thing that everybody only cared about. Or everybody only brought up. Oh, he's going to catch him. Tank. Oh, he's going to catch him. Oh, he's going to knock him out. Tank is a knockout artist. Tank is one of the best punchers that we got in boxing right now. But guess what? Tank is a methodical fighter. Tank is somebody who downloads, dissects, and then destroys. He's a computer. He's not just a bomb. But people only see him as a bomb. Because that's the explosion, the shock, the noise. That's what goes and catches the eye. I'm not saying that's any of you or anybody in general. I'm just saying you hear this rhetoric, and that's why when we bring up this, it's like the definitions of dimensions of what a fighter is or isn't is a little bit confusing. Strictly because what is a dimension for somebody else ain't always the same. At least to me. Let me see. Oh, wait, hold on. Matt Brooks, how you? Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. We got paid again. Wait a minute. We got paid again. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Let me see. What you gotta say? We appreciate the all to the empire. No question about it. We appreciate the $5 super chat from Matt Borgeson. We love it oh so much. Let me see what you had to say. No more Tank talk. Bro gone, ain't coming back. He's the biggest failure since Adrian Broner. Ooh, shoot. Dang, that's not that's some spicy talk. Now, I will say, this ain't a Tank episode. I was simply using him as an example. Be clear, we're not turning this into a Tank episode. But if you didn't hear, Schofield may be fighting him. So we may be forced in the future to have to say, hey, he's failure or not, the brother's back. But I hear you. We ain't got to talk about him. We only bring him up if applicable. We ain't going to turn this into his episode. But just keep an eye out. He may be returning later on in this summer. Just so you know. But that's all. But look, you paid money, so we're going to drop it. And hey, we're going to keep it working. We're going to keep it pushing because we still got more stuff to talk about on our show on today. Let me see. Mike Tyson, peekaboo style always will be a good style. And again, we still going to talk about INOUE NAKATANI, but we're talking about the dimensions of BENAVIDEZ. All of this still equates to the same talk. Mike Tyson in that peekaboo style, it's a hard style to have. Now, everybody can't fight in it. Everybody can't fight in it. There ain't many people that can teach it. You got that are alive, that grew up from the custom auto system directly. I don't know where Kevin Rooney is, if he is even alive at this point in time. Preferably he is, but I'm not sure. Teddy Atlas is alive. You got him. You got Mike Tyson himself. He's opening gyms. Absolutely. But ain't many people that can fight in that peekaboo style. Not many. Virgil Ortiz, he's got it. It's not necessarily, it's a peekaboo-esque, but it's not like true peekaboo. Isak Cruz, same thing. It's peekaboo-esque, but it's not true peekaboo in the biggest of regards, like we saw with Floyd Patterson, or like we're seeing with the likes of, again, Mike Tyson. It's a lot more to the system than just the guard itself. Virgil Ortiz does implement it. He does. Oh, he does. And that's one reason why I love to watch him fight. That's why I can't wait to see him versus Boots. If that fight does take place, I would love to see how that style and those similarities of Peekaboo would do against Boots Ennis. But he's not like it's not like that version. Now, I'm not saying everybody's gonna master it like with Mike Tyson or Floyd Patterson, but the amount of core strength you gotta have for that, the amount of stamina you gotta have to constantly be bobbing and weaving like that, consistently moving all 12 rounds and still being able to explode with power. And every shot you're looking for a counter. That is not easy to do. And there ain't many fighters that want to do that, let alone that it would work for them. A lot of them, Philly shell, long guard. You got people doing again the Bivol-esque type style, bouncing around the ring. It's more of that. Like we talked about this in the past, fighters had kind of streamlined what is or isn't most efficient in boxing right now. For a lot of people, they see that Peekaboo style as a skill set for a certain era, but it wouldn't fit in boxing now, even though it would. Because Evander Holyfield style of boxing, bouncing, moving, being active, and all that stuff, we're seeing that with Usyk right now. We're seeing that with Mosatama right now. And guess what? They're being some of the best that we got. It does work. You just got to have people willing to learn or wanting to learn that, and people that can teach it on a real skillful level. If we got that, great. For now, but we ain't got like that. The cross guard style and a couple of those older styles of boxing, it just kind of died out because the trainers that were around ain't training it, and the fighters that are fighting, they're following the people that are successful now, which is predominantly the Floyd Mayweathers. Now you got Shakur Stevensons, but you also got the Terrence Crawfords. So those frameworks are what a lot of people are going to be trying to fight like. Most likely, that's what you're going to be seeing. But let me see. Virtual T loves to move side to side like Tyson, and the power ain't. No, you're right. You're right about that. You're absolutely right about that. I'm not denying. That's why I said I want to see him. That's why I said I see there are aspects of it, and I love it. I do love it, and I want to see him do. I really want to see him get a belt, so we can put that style to test against so many other people. But back to the main card of competition. We still want to make sure we talk about the rest of the current landscape of the boxing world as we know it right now, because there's a whole bunch to talk about. Also, I mentioned some people in the chat. Hold on now. Wiseman, you said earlier in the show, and in fact, for some reason, it's not bringing it up when I click on you. So I'm going to copy it in my own chat, and I'm going to post it, and I'm going to click on it myself to make it so that I can bring up what you say. But this chat was from Wiseman, who chatted earlier. Benavidez might have some issues by size and craftiness and the pop on Zurdo's punches, but Benavidez's mentality is seek and destroy always. Maybe it ends by stoppage, but definitely by decision. I want people to understand something about Benavidez. I think the vulnerability of his chin is not getting overhyped, but I think it's also getting put in a wrong perspective. Benavidez can get caught and hurt by Zurdo Ramirez. Absolutely. Be clear on this today. Benavidez can get caught and get hurt by Zurdo Ramirez. No question. But it's the fact that his chin, while it may be more vulnerable, he's quick to recover. He doesn't stay buzzed for long. And it's got to take a clean shot to hurt him. But even if you do, he's so quick to bounce back that one shot, you got maybe 2 or 3 seconds of a window to really take advantage of. We saw with David Morrell, he had about 2 or 3 seconds to actually do something with that work. And all of a sudden, we saw Benavidez get right back in the foray and take back control of the round immediately, while he already had control. He doesn't get caught often. That's the other thing. His chin is protected by sound defense. And if he does get caught, he's able to still, I'm good. His durability isn't necessarily, oh yeah, you can't rock me. You may be able to catch me, and you may be able to rock me, but it's the fact that his recovery is so underappreciated by a lot of people because it is incredible. It's incredible. It's uncanny, and to be blunt, it's uncanny. He's able to have this capacity that the second you catch him, it's still that's not the end of this whole escapade of what's going to happen. I can recover. I can take it. And I'm immediately similar to what we see with Tyson Fury. Not saying he's got that same level of Hall of Fame great chin, but I'm saying he ain't been caught often, and when he does, just like with Fury, he's able to come back and still win the round consistently. Come back and have the control of the fight as if it never left his hands in the first place. That is underappreciated about Benavidez, and that's something that against Zurdo, that's gonna be it's gonna be a real system. It's gonna be real, because he's gonna have situations where, like you see right here, or shoot, I can't even play the clips of the times he got caught. He got caught, got hurt, but he was able to instantly, boom, I'm up, or I'm buzzed, but I'm back. 3-punch combination. The Terminator's still walking. The monster's still standing. Oh my goodness, how can this be? That's what he is. It's an underappreciated part of his game. Let me see. Do you think Benavidez will be more or less dominant in this fight due to the size of Zurdo? He's going to be as dominant. I don't think he'll be more or less. I think it's going to be the same. What's going to come down to is the gas tank and the hand speed. That's what's going to come down to. The defensive stuff, we already know Benavidez is great at. We know that the ability to punch, all that's there. Zurdo's going to be his biggest test, yes. But the size of Zurdo isn't the frame that's going to massively affect him. Because mind you, Zurdo is bigger outright than Benavidez, but it's not by much. It ain't by much. And if you want to give a real perspective as to why I say that, hey, I'll let you see exactly what they look like when they were sparring against each other. Because if you didn't know, we got footage. Crazy enough, Golden Boy put this stuff out at a very interesting time. But we got footage of Benavidez and Zurdo sparring against each other from years ago of what it was like. And I'm telling you, the difference is not that big. It's not that big at all. Let me play the clip. Let me see. Before I play the clip, let me read this chat. I don't see Benavidez knocking out Zurdo. He hasn't even touched the camera yet. No, he hasn't. But it's not, he might. But if the war of attrition gets too bad, we've seen him break faces before. In terms of Benavidez, it could be that type of situation. He doesn't knock him out, but he stops him because the accumulation of punches goes and swells him up and potentially does enough damage. But let me show you the clips as to exactly what that fight was like between Zurdo and Benavidez when they had sparred against each other from years ago. And again, this is from Golden Boy's official page. Let me make sure y'all can see it before. I want to make sure y'all can't. Okay, yeah, y'all can't see it. Here's what it looked like.
David combination, pop, 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 shoot, combination, pop, 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 and it just keeps going back and forth, you know, and you're entertained the whole time. That's just in training, in sparring. Think about come fight night.
So this is most likely what we're gonna see this fight be. Like I said, it's gonna be it's gonna be a war. They're gonna fight in close. It's going to be that nip and tuck. We head to head. It's time to see who's the bigger dog. And notice what was going on. Again, as you can see, Benavidez in the white, Zurdo in I believe in the blue. And yeah, Benavidez, as you can see by the shirt, in the white and Zurdo in the blue. The size difference is not that big. Now again, Benavidez leaning back and Zurdo's crouching forward, get ready for a shot. But the size difference, Zurdo is the taller fighter. He is. But it's not really that much of a difference. It ain't. It really isn't. Again, I'll play it while I'm talking. And in fact, let me actually switch the camera. Let me switch the camera over so you can actually see, have a better framework while I'm kind of like a highlight reel per se. It's like my own little ESPN setup. I like this, but it's not as huge of a difference between the two. And it's because, like, Benavidez is a big guy. But in those fights, you see, like, the work that they're able to do and the work that Benavidez is able to do. Yeah, he can take him. That size ain't really doing nothing with him. That framework, it's not really, messing with him. Mind you, this is why Benavidez wasn't even at cruiserweight yet. I believe this is why Benavidez was still at 175 or below. And Zurdo at this point in time was, in fact, a cruiserweight. If I got my timeline correctly. If not, please correct me. But even still, this is what this fight's going to be like. And I'm telling you, you saw Benavidez was handling himself. You saw how Benavidez was able to control the framework of what this fight was looking like. You saw how Benavidez was able to be what he was in the fight, which was outright control. You saw it. The man, it's real. It's real. But let me see. Benavidez was piecing him up. Yeah, he was. Like he was. He was. He was piecing him up. He was piecing him up. He was catching him. He was doing work. He was doing good work. Also, let me see. Jose Morone, what's going on with you? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show. We appreciate you on our airways on today. Let's see what you guys say on our show. It's going to be the heart of the Mexican monster that will win this fight. I think, and crazy enough, it's going to be more than heart. Again, he's just a better fighter. He's got the heart, grit, and spit and will, all that stuff. But you see the work. You're watching this on screen right now. In fact, let me blow this up. It's gonna be some good work. And let me see. Well, we got more people like Wiseman. Yeah, but he's going up 25 pounds though. And the thing is, he is going up 25 pounds. 75 to cruiserweight is an insane leap. We're not denying that. The pop of Zurdo will be more, especially without the headgear. But notice, I want you to notice, if this fight went the same way, and in fact, I'm going to blow this up full screen so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. If this fight went the same way, like we see in their sparring footage, I want you to look at this and tell me who is having the better protection. And even though the size difference in weight may be different,
and it just keeps going back and forth. We're entertained the whole time.
To not just work but nullify the other despite the power. It's Benavidez.
That's just
it's Benavidez. You can see in these clips.
Come fight night.
We've learned about that high guard before. It's something serious. A lot of these shots are elbows, guard, or sliding off the glove and hit him on the side of the head. It's a good hook that landed there. But the most of the stuff, Benavidez is breaking windows, while Benavidez is also keeping his windows relatively
it just keeps going back and forth.
Uncracked.
We're entertained the whole time.
He's stifling or being able to stop a lot of those shots
in training
that are coming from Ramirez. While Ramirez is throwing real heavy leather. Even if it's 25 pounds difference, guess what? The same work, it's still the same work. If you want to say, okay, he pushing him back, well, you see right there, he may push him back and then he gets caught with an uppercut. Catch him on the top of the head, and then boom, Benavidez catch the punch on the guard, 3 punches downstairs to the body. It's not about just the power can nullify or push him or hurt him. Oh, he's going to be landing these punches. It's the fact that, yeah, he's going to be throwing heavier. Sure. But landing the stuff is still gonna, it can be this same type of smothered work. And not smothered as in Zurdo isn't working in an optimal range or punching in the right way, technique-wise on the inside. Benavidez just on the interior is just showing high-quality defense. He is. Now again, this isn't the.
Shoot.
I'm not saying,
And
they both go incredibly hard in sparring. I'm not
you're
saying this is them
entertained the
going
whole time.
out right 100%. Both were working on stuff. I completely understand. I'm not gonna act like, okay,
That's
yeah,
just
this is gonna be the
training,
story
in
of the
sparring.
fight.
Think about
I'm not saying that at all. Again,
fight
mind you,
night.
this is Golden Boy's film. I do not own these footage. I own nothing of this footage. Be clear. Strictly using this for educational purposes to make sure we can show the audience exactly what's going on. But even with it not going 100%, we see if this is a foundation of what we can see coming on Saturday. Well, there's going to be some real trouble.
Going back and forth.
Potentially for ZURDO. Because like I said, what happened may just happen. On the inside, Benavidez is better.
In training,
in close range, Benavidez is sharper. He's faster.
Come fight night.
And as much as ZURDO loves to go and punch and be voluminous, matching the work ain't gonna be a concern. And why is it a concern? Or why is it not a big concern? Well, notice what ZURDO isn't doing in this clip. He's not ducking, is he? Notice what he's not doing in this clip. He's not ducking down. Why? You see, I'm not just making this stuff up. Part of the reason why Benavidez is able to do what he's doing in this sparring footage against ZURDO, he took away an exit. The uppercut. The thing that ZURDO loves to do, he took that away. And what does ZURDO have to be now? An upright inside fighter. Sure, he can pivot, but he's not. The exits got taken from the speed of Benavidez. And now it's just volume, break the windows, use my fluidity and power. And we clearly see, at least from this footage, he's doing a pretty doggone good job of nullifying a lot of the straight work that we're seeing ZURDO do. And, crazy enough, pushing him back as well. Even on the ropes, when ZURDO gets him to the ropes, who's doing the better work at this point in time? It's Benavidez. And this is what I mean by multidimensional. In all facets of where you are, you're still able to be what you can be because you understand how to operate in every single dimension of what a fight can bring. That's why this but it's a multidimensional fighter in my opinion. But it can get, I'm telling you, it can get beaten. But let me see. Remember when Benavidez debuted at 175? His punches didn't have a lot of effect on Gvozdyk as we thought they would, but he still dominated the fight, and Morrell did touch him up too. Yeah, he did. When we did discuss that, if Benavidez wins, do we see him call out Jai Apatai as a potential opponent, or does he call out Bivol again? Maybe better be back down at 175. So it's most likely it's going to depend on what comes first. Jai Apatai without a title, does he do it? I don't know. Maybe. I'm not sure. Can he do it? Sure. Would he do it? I would hope so. If not, yeah, he's already stated, I want to get my fight with Bivol. Especially now that Bivol's fighting against Eifert. Titles aren't on the line, or at least a majority. I think two of them aren't on the line for a reason I don't agree with, but even still, he'll probably call out that fight. Shoot, don't forget, Canelo's going to be at that fight. Hey, if you didn't hear that news, Canelo's going to be at that fight. And since Canelo's going to be at that fight, mark my words, Canelo and Benavidez get the chance. Hey, Canelo, while you watching, come step into this work since you said you were better than me. I did what you could never do, and now come see me. I'll come to where you are. Because see, Benavidez at this point in time is at a unique situation. All three fights are viable. The most likely situation, he goes after Bivol. Most likely. Because that's the smoke he's been wanting for about a year or two. He can fight Jai Apatai, but Jai without a title, I don't think Benavidez cares about the Zuffa title. Even though he will be more open to take that smoke if it comes about. I guarantee you that. I guarantee you that. I promise you that. I promise you that. He'll be more inclined to do that. But the most likely thing, going for belts and going for glory. He wants everything he can get. And he wants the name recognition. So he's going to go after names on this pound for pound list. And Bivol most likely is going to be his most immediate move. And the least likely, but also viable opportunity, he goes to heavyweight. Don't forget, and we still remember, if you weren't here, MS, one of the chatters on this channel, again, love you and appreciate you wherever you are. Hopefully you coming in and you chime in on the show. We can't wait to see you back on our stream. But he came on and broke the news that ZURDO and BENAVIDEZ was going to be signed to fight. And we hadn't heard a lick from anything, from anybody in any walk of life on any social media situation. The biggest thing we had heard was BENAVIDEZ may want to go to heavyweight in about a year or two. That was it. Nothing about him going to cruiserweight in the midst of him getting the opportunity to fight Bivol. Now, all of a sudden, that comes through our chat. We get all excited. We're saying, hey, brother, if this is real, this can be some pound for pound level stuff. He goes to cruiserweight, and lo and behold, not even a month later, we get the announcement. He's fighting ZURDO. I couldn't believe it. And now, he said in that same chat, heavyweight may not, I believe in that same chat, heavyweight may not be that far behind. And so I'm telling you right now, heavyweight may not be that far behind. So it may not be a likely scenario, but it can happen. I'm telling you, if he does win, it can happen. If it does happen, hey man, that would be absolutely, it'd be absolutely phenomenal. Let me see. Calls out Bivol. That's better option anyways. That's undisputed. That's what I'm thinking as well. But again, if we do see it, great. I hope we do. Either way, if we see BENAVIDEZ win this fight, the world is at his feet. Whoever he wants, he can get. He can call out Canelo with more weight than he's ever had before. He can call out Bivol and BENAVIDEZ and say, hey, brother, I want everything y'all got, specifically Bivol. I want my titles opportunities. He can get Jai Patel to say, hey, man, I don't care if you're with Zuffa. I want that smoke because now with this accomplishment, I'm not only elevated in the pound for pound conversations, brother, I get the world respect because people going to say, what you mean? He beat arguably the best cruiserweight in the world. Are you kidding me? And if he makes it look easy, that's even more debilitating. All of a sudden, he gets the pull of the people. And everybody wants to see him do something spectacular. Yet again. So he gets leverage. He gets monetary leverage. He becomes a cash cow. This win is more than just a win. This is a key. This is a key that unlocks a whole host of things. And if he can accomplish it, the world's his oyster. But I think it's going to be Bivol. That is his biggest priority first. And then let the shits fall where they may. But either way, it's going to be something to behold nonetheless. Also, keep on liking, streaming, keep on sharing the show because we got to transition into the second half of our show, which is INOUE versus Nakatani. Yes, indeed. Come on. Let's break it down, shall we? Yeah, buddy. Yeah, it's time. We saved this for the best for last, or rather the best for the two fights that we're going to be talking about. And as the main source of conversation, we got INOUE versus BENAVIDEZ, and I'm sorry, INOUE versus Nakatani. My apologies. For the undisputed super bantamweight championship of the world. In fact, I should probably put out a poll of who's gonna win in this fight. Hold on a second. Hold on a minute. I'm about to put out a poll. Right, hold on. INOUE. Nakatani. And boom. Start the poll. Let's see what you all got to say. And also, please, if you can, we got a bunch of people in the chat right now. I appreciate it and I love it. Please like the stream as we're talking about all this stuff. And we want to see your thoughts and opinions still. Keep on commenting and chatting and keep on sharing your thoughts and opinions. But please, share the show, like the stream, and if you can support the channel, hey, Cash App, PayPal, links down below. If you want to see what we got going on to keep flourishing and shining through, we would love it and appreciate it if possible. So, hey, we can't wait to keep We can't wait to see you all still being here, and we can't wait to hear your thoughts and opinions. We got a poll for INOUE versus Nakatani. Who y'all think's gonna win? But it's time to talk about the big kahuna. Yes, indeed, and it's time for us to break down the fight. Let's get it started. We ain't gonna waste no time. INOUE looks laser focused and mean they both. He does. They both are. They both are insanely focused. This is the biggest fight for both of their careers. Let's set the stage for what this fight is. For those of you who may be unaware as to what's going down, this fight is the equivalent of Hagler versus Leonard. That's what this is. Leonard versus Duran. Ali Frazier. This fight, INOUE versus Nakatani, is the biggest fight in Japanese history. And pound for pound wise, this is one of the most important fights in pound for pound, in the pound for pound landscape of today's world in boxing. There is very few, if any at all, high caliber technical affairs of this propensity and of this danger with knockout ability, skill, and outright aura, marketability, and notoriety and placement amongst the greats in today's boxing world. There almost isn't an equal in this type of caliber of fight. INOUE, 32-0, 28 KOs in his career. The man has been a monstrous figure, literally called the monster for a reason. Four division champion, two-time undisputed champion in 2 separate divisions, has been undefeated and has been one of the greatest fighters that we've seen in today's game. On the flip side is Junto Nakatani, who is quickly, at only 27 years old, also became 32-0. I believe 24 knockouts on his resume, has dominated the bantamweight division before coming up here, had dominated the division before bantamweight before coming up here, has had what looks to be the greatest left hand that we got in boxing right now, with his frame of being 6'10". He's got the height, he's got the leverage, he's got the strength, he's got the firepower. And the brother's called Big Bang for a reason. It ain't just Big Bang Jane that's a buncher, but Nakatani, Junto Nakatani, that brother also is called Big Bang because that man can detonate on you in one fell swoop without any hesitation or expectation of what you see coming. He can come with any facet of punch possible. He's got power. He's got a great jab. He's got a really good chin, especially what we saw with the fight with Hernandez. And this man's got a motor, and he can box. Be clear. The man's also one of the best boxers that we got, and is one of the only 2 people that people have seen across the globe that can even dare to touch the skills and ability of INOUE himself, as well as with Bam Rodriguez. He is part of that 3 kaiju monster, and all 3 of them are slated to battle, and 2 of the biggest kaijus right now of this whole story are about to face off, and it's going to be a pride and testament for anybody involved to witness this. And I'm telling you, we're going to be up at 4 in the morning to see how this whole thing goes. But that's the backdrop of what exactly this fight is and why it's so spectacular. Now we're about to delve into the actual fight itself, but let me read your chats first and foremost to see what you all have to say. I think INOUE is going to attack in the openings that Junto puts him in. I think he will as well. Again, we're going to break down the fight. Absolutely. That's why INOUE is not underestimating Junto, and INOUE telling everybody, don't underestimate me. Yeah, he can't. He better not. He better not be underestimated and better not underestimate Junto. This is a fight. If there was any fight that one punch could put INOUE to sleep, this is the one. This is the one. This is the one. It's the one. That's the one. We got some problems here. Every viable concern that people have had over the course of INOUE's career of recent, as he's faced off against big time competition. This is the fight that has everybody on pins and needles saying, I don't know if this may be the end of the best of INOUE. Because this buddy can lose if he gets caught with the same punch that we saw Cardenas and that we saw Luis Nery catch him with. Because this buddy got better power than all of them. That's what it seems like. Let me see. I will always expect the unexpected, but I believe INOUE will win. Yeah, I get you. And we're about to go into the prediction right now. I don't know if INOUE is as dominant in this fight because Nakatani is a real live dog. It's going to be everything about INOUE can be put to the test. This is the man. If there was a man to figure out this Rubik's Cube, it would be him. It really would be. Let me see. Anyway, buy whatever he wants. That's what a lot of people are feeling. But let's break it down, shall we? How is this fight going to go, and who's going to win? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. And what do each fighter bring? What does each fighter, bring to the table? And again, we got a poll on the side. We want to hear your thoughts and opinions on who you have picking. But let's break it down from my perspective. What does Junto bring to this landscape as to how and why he can win? Well, it's not just the power that we've discussed. It's not just the length and leverage that we've seen him do with the similar frame to the likes of Picasso. Junto Nakatani has a fiery demeanor that can go and match Inoue. We talk about Inoue's mean streak to go and put somebody out. Junto's also the same way. Junto will take chances that most people would say shouldn't be happening. But he's got the level of reach. Maybe not the speed, because I think Inoue's a faster fighter. But he's got the reach and distance control when he wants to use it. That he can be aggressive on the outside and land at the same danger and propensity as we've seen Inoue when he's fighting and trying to get on the inside. But he's an insane magnet of, not magnet, excuse me. He's an insane ruler of the range. It's surprising. Part of the reason why we saw that the knockout of the year with Jason Maloney, I believe with Jason Maloney, one of the Maloney brothers who got knocked out by Nakatani, was because Maloney had to essentially lunge to get into the reach of Nakatani. He had to overcommit. He had to fall into the trap because he was on the outskirts. He was on the outer edges of the world. And he had to delve in. Even when Nakatani wasn't having his hands fully up, the range that Nakatani can get to, it's a wide scope. It's a wide circle. And once you get into that domain, per se, domain expansion, we want to go that route. The brother, he's dangerous. Because once he commits, when you think that you're out of range, he can catch you. And when you think you're in range to punch, you're still out of range. And now you're even more vulnerable. That's what we can see Nakatani have in this advantage of a fight. Because of that long torso coupled with that almost 70-inch reach. And it's due to that length. It's going to give Inoue a huge test. Because this ain't going to be Picasso. And Picasso's a great fighter. This ain't going to be Picasso. With how he was operating in that mid-range, long-range area. Nakatani is incredibly more of a savant with his abilities. He's a fighter that loves not just to pressure you with the threat of his power, but set traps to give you a sense of false urgency. And then, like we saw against his fight with Nishida, he can turn it up and just straight up go guns blazing. Don't forget, this man will be reckless as can be if he feels it's time to turn up. He did it when he was trying to make a statement to Inoue, when Inoue showed up in the fight, to watch him about 2 fights before this fight right now. And this brother went and swirled up the side of Nishida's face and was throwing uppercuts asunder. If he feels that he can go and do whatever he wants, he'll just go for broke. And if he gets that level of confidence against Inoue, Inoue better watch out. Because as much as recklessness can work against Nakatani, but in the sea of recklessness, if he does go and flip that switch, well, the cat can go and also be one of the most damaging, fearful, belligerent detonation devices that this division has to offer. And he can box, use his jab incredibly well. And the biggest thing that you need to remember, the uppercuts of Nakatani to the body are dangerous because they come out incredibly quick. We played clips of him in the past in training not just with that double hook to land on Inoue, but also in sparring. If Inoue comes in, there's an uppercut that is so smooth when it comes out. You don't even register that it hits you, but your body's automatically backing up. Oh, it's possible. And disguising, or rather blending, that overhand shot that Nakatani loves to throw into his head movement It's another thing that Inoue better be concerned about. Because it's going to be the fight's going to be in this mid-range area. And if it gets to that point, boy, it can be a dangerous thing if Inoue doesn't see it coming. Because Inoue has been caught being overzealous, trying to throw one punch too many. He's been caught. He's been hurt. He's been almost knocked out. Because the vulnerability of Inoue isn't necessarily that he's, he did a bunch of holes in his defense. His offense naturally compounds on itself because he wants to keep the pressure high. But with that, at times, what does he do? He throws a punch that in normal situations you would say you shouldn't throw. But that's his game. That's part of his plan. But the flip side of it, it breeds an opening where a three-punch combination, if you stop it, you'll be able to catch the hook that's coming. But Inoue will go and try to land that fourth option, that fourth hook, that fourth shot to keep you scared. And that's where he got caught. That's how Cardenas caught him. That's how, crazy enough, I was going to say, from the safety vantage point, you could argue well, I'm not going to say that's what happened against Akhmadali, because Akhmadali caught him at the end of the fight when Inoue he had his guard up. He just punched around it, and boom. That can also happen. Don't forget. But that's a little bit different. But Nakatani can do what Neri did. Inside, use Inoue's aggression against him. Because you don't have to be at your fullest of range if you're Nakatani to land that same hook. He can also do it right here. He can also do it without any big leverage standing outside at range. He can punch just as good as some of the best in this division, strictly from his shoulder, without any big momentum. So Inoue better be concerned, because if he gets caught like that, he can get knocked out. And it's going to be a knockout. Nakatani is not going to be able to outbox Inoue. I don't think he will. I strongly doubt that Nakatani will be able to outbox Inoue. But I don't doubt at all that he can knock him out. And if he was to win, it would be by KO. But I said this before and I'm going to say it again. He has one punch to make that KO happen. If he does not get that punch in that KO, he's not winning this fight. But if he does, it's in the bag for him. He's got enough power that the one punch big bang ability of Nakatani can do what no man has been able to do, which is keep Inoue down. But if he doesn't keep him down when he lands that one punch, the fight's over for him. He's got one chance. How good of that chance is for you is up to you. It's a pretty good chance without Nakatani is as a fighter. But it's a dangerous situation because you only got one shot. And if you don't land it a second time, you're done. Because we know how Inoue is adaptable. But he can knock him out and he can catch him. And if he does catch him, he's got to catch him early. It can't be after round 7. It's got to be rounds 1 through 5. He knocks out Inoue. Because at that point, there's still some dissection. You can still hurt him. Absolutely. But the likelihood of you catching him and hurting him in those last rounds versus in the early stages, night and day. Night and day. But if you can hurt him early, you can knock him out. And if he's going to win, it's going to be by KO, but he's only got one shot. But for Inoue, a little bit of a different story. What he can bring and how he can win, he's got to be able to go through and not just fight on the inside. Box like he did against Stephen Fulton. He's got to still be the Inoue that we've all known and loved, but he also has to have the capacity to be as deliberate in defense as possible. Like we saw with Picasso recently, that's what we got to see him be against Nakatani. That level of outright, not just respect, but genuine attentiveness. You can't lapse against Junto. I dare say this is the one fight he better not taunt like he normally does in other fights. Because if he does, it can get dangerous. But he's got to be defensively responsible. He's got to be somebody who can delve into the framework of getting back into that technical bag. It never left him, but getting to that and using that to his advantage. Got to use it. Got to be able to get around the jab of Nakatani. Establish his jab first, if possible. Make that speed the biggest debilitating factor as to this is a different world up here at 122. And I bring everything you bring to the table in Nakatani, but I'm better. He's got to make Nakatani feel that. Establish the jab. Win the outside range if possible. Force Nakatani to only have the ability to win on the inside if you can force this fight there. Now you got yourself, you can work in that vein. You can operate in that vein without having to worry about coming in and getting caught because you overextended because of the long domain of Nakatani. Take away that weapon of length. Make Nakatani fight on the back foot. He can move. Nakatani can move around the ring. Force him to feel the pressure. Force him to feel the fire. Force him to feel like he's in Hernandez situation all over again. As well as use some angles. Nakatani is a brother who he can punch. He's a great crafty fighter. Phenomenal fighter. One of the best in the world. But one of the vulnerabilities, if you start using angles against him, you can set him up for some clean shots. Especially with the speed that we've seen Nakatani, that we've seen INOUE have. It's there. It definitely is there. All those things absolutely are a fact. The two biggest ones, establish working downstairs to the body. You're already an incredible body puncher. Set Nakatani up to worry about going downstairs. You want this fight to be as easy as possible. By that proxy, you want Nakatani to feel the weight of attrition. You want him to feel that helplessness, again, that he felt against Hernandez. The man, this fight's waning on, and I'm getting tagged. Maybe not upstairs, but downstairs. Utilize some of the same stuff that we saw Hernandez do. Use the uppercuts. Use those hooks. Let Nakatani miss, if you can, and then catch him. Make Nakatani's, at times, over-anxious nature to land something fervent, let that be your opening to be a countering monster. Because we know you can do it. And the biggest thing, above all else in this fight that can have INOUE winning, you need to go make this fight late. Turn this fight into a war of attrition. Because that will make the game plan so much easier for you. Make this fight get to rounds 8, 9, and 10. Because at that point, we've seen it. Especially if Nakatani's down. The technical side of this fight goes out the window. And now the war begins. Especially if he feels it's close. They always go to war. But okay, we can't go and just box like we got to. We got to hurt this cat. Make him get that level of desperation. Because the one thing about Nakatani, if you can make him get desperate, it don't happen often. The only time I've seen it happen is with Hernandez. But if you can make him get desperate, you can make him look like everybody else. Because his desperation leads to sloppiness. His desperation leads to a lack of technique. INOUE, when he gets desperate, or when he starts flipping that switch, that sixth gear that we talk about, everything with him tightens up, offensively and defensively. Judo is different. It loosens up. He throws caution to the wind. He lets his foundation shake. Sacrifice one thing for another. Sacrifice technique for power, fear, and a threat level that's elevated. That's what Nakatani does. But if you can push this late and you are up and you outbox him, you outmaneuver him, you make this fight fully yours to control, and you don't give him an opening to feel like my boxing is working, he will let his inhibitions run wild. And what you saw against Nishida, you would see against him in Inoue. And Inoue, if that happens, it's game over. If that happens, it's game over. Barring a flagrant shot that goes through. He got him. And because he got him, he's going to catch him with the right. Most likely. It'll be Nakatani that steps in and overcommits. And it'll be Inoue that will be able to go through similar to Jason Maloney. Straight shot down the pipe. Puts him down. That's what I think we're going to see happen. Because of that, that's why I think we're going to see Inoue win. That's my prediction. As in detail of a breakdown as possible. That's why I think we're going to see, I think we're going to see Inoue win. That's why we're going to see him win. The very thing that we say Inoue cannot afford to do, I think it's going to be Nakatani that makes that very mistake. When the fight gets late and he has to go and make something happen because he's too far down on the cards. They're both warriors. They both will go for broke. They both understand we're going to leave it all in the ring. There is no love lost when it comes to both of them making themselves and fans go home knowing that they left everything on the table. And because of that, who benefits from being able to operate in that level of chaos? It's Inoue. It's been Inoue every time. It's been Inoue in every facet of his career. Every time his opponent has let himself go because he saw the light at the end of the tunnel or needed something to shake, it has always been Inoue that has come back and turned their aggression, turned their desperation, turned their overexcitement, turned everything about their viability to win into the very grave that they're buried in. And against Nakatani, as great as he is, that same trait still falls to him. And because of that, he's going to get caught and hurt. He's going to get caught and hurt. And he's going to get put out. He's going to get put out. And it's going to be by knockout. It's going to be by knockout. I strongly believe it's going to be by KO. Strongly, I believe it's going to be by KO. And we're going to see Nakatani, with all due respect, be on the canvas and Inoue and still undisputed super bantamweight champion, the monster Inoue still reigns supreme in the world of boxing and will be solidified as the pound for pound #1 boxer in the world. If after this fight we will be saying Inoue is the undisputed king of boxing, not just in his division, but in the whole of this sport. There's nobody better than Inoue. I strongly believe that's what we're going to see. But again, that's just my thoughts and opinions on the matter. I want to hear you and everything you have to say on the day. So let's get your chance after I've now broken down everything. People are forgetting Inoue work on weaknesses and always drove to be better. This man don't even like his performance against Picasso. No, he didn't, which is crazy enough. He didn't like that. So he's going to be even more wound tight with deliberate intention on making sure everything is fine-tuned. Now, I hope he doesn't overtrain. I don't want that to happen. But he's going to be built physically and mentally to handle whatever comes his way. Inoue by KO in a great fight. Yeah, it's going to be a great fight. If there was any fight that can be fight of the year, it would be this one. It would be this one because the caliber of skill and war of attrition, war of zealous, not zealous, but war of complete and utter violence is melted together in a pot that, to a degree, is better than what we have with Benavidez and ZURDO. With that skillful fight, this fight is even more skilled, but they're just as gung-ho, like with Benavidez and ZURDO, to say we're going to throw caution to the wind and somebody going down. We're going to fight with the heart of a Mexican. We're going to fight with the heart of a lion. We're going to fight with the pride of Japan. It's that same sentiment. We are going to go and something's going to give in this fight one way or another. I don't care how it goes. It's going to be like that. I guarantee it's going to be like that. Let me see. I feel like Inoue has gotten even faster. I think he's gotten sharper. I don't think he's gotten faster as a fighter, but he's gotten sharper. The technique of the delivery system has been better refined. The reaction time and the confidence in, okay, see a hole, fill a hole type of situation, see a need, feel a need type of situation where you're going through, oh, okay, there's a counter window, boom, my body just reacts. Shakur, same thing. Shakur's speed has stayed the same, but it is the confidence in, okay, I just don't need to waste time. I see the opening, boom, react immediately. He's like that. They're both like that. But that's what we're seeing Inoue operating. We're seeing it's Inoue right now is like prime Braun when he was playing in 2018, where everything came together physically and mentally. He's in that era right now of his career. Nakatani is in the more so 01, 02 Kobe, where the best of Kobe, when everything got put together for Kobe, player-wise, was more so 05, 06. When he was averaging 35 points a game when he went and played and finally got a title in 2010. But when he changed the number from 8 to 24, he's kind of in his 8 Kobe. And he's still got room to grow because he's already done so much. I'm not comparing the players. I'm simply saying the type of position that they're in their careers, comparative, if we can, to other facets in sports. This is kind of their trajectory. And it makes for an insane clash. And I love it. I appreciate it. But that's why we're seeing Inoue be as sharp as he is. And Junto being this so young, in terms of he's 27 years old, but having moved so quick. It's like, man, shoot, whether we think he's ready or not, this is the only body that is actually viable to stop this man in Inoue. It's a meeting of the minds. It's a meeting of the skill set. It's a meeting of, like, essentially greatness. And I just cannot wait to see it. I'm telling you, I just cannot wait to see this fight unfold and flourish. Let me see. Inoue can take any fight style and make you feel dumb. And he's a small guy. Yeah, no, that's the truth. That's the truth. He steals from you and turns your biggest weakness, your biggest ability into weakness. That's what he does. And for Nakatani, especially with the reach of a longer fighter, we've seen him do that multiple times. And he can do that again in this fight. Let me see. He should be in the pound number one right now. For a lot of people, they still got Usyk or Shakur. That's what he's fighting. He's fighting against Usyk, Shakur, and Bam. Bam's getting top 3. He's kind of set his spot. But Shakur, people saying he's the best in the world. Usyk, people saying he's the best in the world. And in a way, it's caught between 2 and 1. Now, I got Shakur at 4 and Benavidez at 5. But you see how the stuff fluctuates. In a way, after this fight, this is his Terrence Crawford. That's what I'm saying. In fact, hold on. In fact, if I may, let me bring back something that we ain't brought back in a minute. In a couple of, let me bring back something that we haven't used in a couple of moments on this show. A brand new segment, not even segment. Brand new voice. Not even brand new voice. The Echo. Yeah. You need to understand that Nakatani versus Inoue is Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford. It's that type of fight. It's that type of fight. It's that type of endeavor. It's that type of proving ground. For anybody that believes that somebody's better than Inoue or Nakatani, whoever wins this fight, because this is the best test that both of them are going to have in their careers up until this point. After this, well, there's going to be no more claims to a facade of fame. There's going to be no more claims to a facade of fame, whoever wins this fight. Because everybody has been saying, we don't know who INOUE's faced. We don't know who Nakatani's faced. How can you say they're better than Shakur? They fought a bunch of bums. Well, if you say Nakatani's a bum now, well, then there's just no point in you talking. If you say INOUE's a bum now, there's no point in you talking. What better test is there right now than for Nakatani or INOUE against each other? If there was any fight to validate what they are as pound-for-pound stars in their rankings, this is the one. Just like with Terrence Crawford versus Spence, that fight was the fight that validated whether or not they deserve to be seen as pound-for-pound number one or not. Because the winner of that fight was going to be seen as the best fighter in the world. It was, with Spence and Crawford. It just helped that Crawford was beat him in such a way that was decimated. That it was like, oh my gosh, it wasn't close. Crazy enough, INOUE had fought on that same card against Errol Spence. Not Errol Spence. INOUE had fought on that same day, or I think that same week, against Stephen Fulton. And I said, if INOUE right now after that performance was the best in the world, unless we see Terrence Crawford beat Errol Spence in a dominating fashion like we saw with Joe Frazier and Ali. And we actually saw that. But if it wasn't for that, INOUE would have already been number one at that point in time. But it's that level of viability of you win, you elevate to this stratosphere. This fight will be for the best in the world, not just undisputed. This fight will reshape the pound-for-pound rankings in boxing. This fight is going to put somebody on a real, not even a road. They're both at the gate. If INOUE wins more than anything, he's going to be elevated to, okay, this might be one of the best fighters we've ever seen. INOUE wins this fight, this is going to elevate it to, he may be one of the best fighters we've ever seen. Ever. I'm talking about in history. In history. With everything that we've seen throughout boxing, it's over 100 years. This man, with this win, if he gets this win, can elevate into the vein of immortality that only a few people have ever gone into. For real. He's that good. He's that great. This is that important of a fight. It's that important of a fight. Because this is the non-negotiable. Without this fight, just like with Canelo and Benavidez, without this fight, INOUE's career and Nakatani's career would have question marks. But once you answer those questions, that's when you get the status of immortality. That's when you get the golden statues. That's when you get the eye-opening, awe-inspiring aura surrounding you. Your conqueror's hockey gets bigger and stronger. Everything about you becomes more prevalent, more fervent, because it's real. Because it's validated and it's stamped in a way that the global world cannot say anything but recognize. Or cannot say anything against it, but they can only recognize it. That's the importance of this fight. That's the real importance of this one. Also, hold on, we got more people in the chat. Like with Matt Borkin, hold on, we got paid double. Wait a minute now. Hold up a second. Oh, shoot. Thank you for the collective $10 super chat between both of your chats that you sent through, Matt. We appreciate the love and support to the show. And please, if you are watching, keep on liking the stream and keep on sharing the show. We don't take your support for granted. We value every single one of you, whether you give or not. You all are making this community incredible and phenomenal, and we're just happy that you're around for the ride. And we want to hear your thoughts and opinions, so keep on chatting, keep on commenting, keep on giving your thoughts and opinions on what we talk about with today and our show. But let me read what you got to say on your first or two super chats, Matt. I love INOUE. It'll hurt to watch him lose like it did for me, Roy Jones Jr. I don't care who wins this fight. They're both for first ballot Hall of Famers. And that's absolutely right. Absolutely. No question about it. Not a word can be said about what they've done in their careers. They are both first ballot and they have been the standard bearers for this era in boxing. They have. I don't care whether you want to recognize it or not. Their body of work speaks for itself. They got the little men in the world of boxing the notoriety that they deserve. They brought stardom and power and a legitimate intrigue to a division that for a lot of people, though it was always built up and had stacked comp and a bunch of people were gung-ho consistently, always going to war at 122 and below, people didn't care. INOUE helped make them care. INOUE opened their eyes. Nakatani also carried that train as well. And they brought up fights and fighters in the mind's eye of a bunch of people that were like, oh my goodness, what have we been missing? They've helped elevate Japanese boxing as a whole to one of the most popular things in the country. This fight selling out a stadium that previously had only been sold out in the 1980s with Mike Tyson. And the only other fight they had it with was with INOUE versus Louis Neary. That was it. Almost 20 years they had a fight up until that point. And now they're doing it again with the biggest fight that will culturally shake up the landscape of boxing for the entire nation. I'm telling you, man, this is a huge deal. It's a huge deal. And they both are going to be in the Hall of Fame, no question about it. And let me read your second comment before I go into the other chats on the day. He would be considered the greatest fighter under 130 of all time. For me, yeah. For me, yeah. The only other person that was dominant in this same vein, fighting this type of competition, was Manny Pacquiao. This much violent nature. The only other person that was doing this was Manny Pacquiao. For both of them, but specifically for INOUE. And so, like, if he does win, I mean, shoot. Beating everybody in their prime or when they were having a resurgence, dominating where you barely losing rounds, having a knockout streak, doing stuff that it took Crawford almost 3 years to do, which is becoming two-time undisputed. You did it in 1 year while going through 1 through 5. Insane. If he does this, yeah, it'd be hard pressed for me to say at 130 anybody would be better. Or excuse me, under 130. It's hard. Now, again, I got to go back through history. We got some historians in the chat. I understand. And so I don't want to disrespect the history of this sport, because trust me, there's a bunch of people that have came through this 100+ years of boxing that have set precedents that still haven't been passed to this day. I understand. But from my knowledge, below 120 or below 130, I can't think of a more dominant fighter in this sect of divisions. I can't. I'm trying. If he wins this, I don't know if there's somebody that's more dominant at this vein. At least at 122. At least. If he does, it'd be insane. It'd be ridiculous. But again, we got more people in the chat, so we want to make sure that we can catch everybody that we can. So we're gonna go back up and scroll through. Also, like Joshua Wagner, what's going on with you? Oh, that's the wrong button. Hold on. How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you, Wagner, for tuning into the show. So happy that you're here with us on today. INOUE likes his distance, and he's not going to brawl with Nakatani. I can see INOUE making Nakatani come to him and see him counter him. I think that's going to be a thing that he's going to try to make happen. Nakatani, crazy enough, will oblige to it. In our minds, we all think INOUE is going to win because we're already looking past Nakatani. If Nakatani wins, what's next for him? He should not go to 126. Well, we're not looking past Nakatani. Be clear. We're just categorizing that if INOUE does win, just like if Crawford beat Canelo, what we were saying that would mean for Crawford. There's a lot of potential at stake for INOUE with all he's able to accomplish. This is the cornerstone fight for him and for Nakatani. But the weight for what's on the other side is a lot bigger for INOUE in the all-time ranks. That's why we talk about it in that vein. But we're not overlooking Nakatani, be clear. Because if Nakatani wins, guess what? He's going to be most likely fighting Bam Rodriguez. Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. And be clear, both of them. This is the only fight that matters, but after this, it's going to be Nakatani or Inoue are going to fight Bam Rodriguez. I am almost 100% sure that's what's going to go down. And if we see Bam Rodriguez beat Vargas and doesn't lose, it's going to be him versus Bam or Nakatani. He's coming up. Straight up. He's coming up. He already came out to fight against Nakatani before, but it was Nakatani moved up in there to get ready to fight anyway. But Bam, after this fight, he ain't standing around. He moving up immediately, almost assuredly. And he gonna be calling out Bam, or he gonna be calling out Inoue and Nakatani. Whoever wins that fight. Don't forget, Nakatani also said in an interview, when he was asked, who do you want to fight next? Or who's your biggest names that you want to fight? Inoue, Bam Rodriguez, and then it was like, I don't know anybody else. But those two, yeah. That's what he said. That's on camera. He said that. So we're not looking past them. We understand this is the moment. The cauldron is spinning now. The kaijus are here. The three biggest monsters currently in boxing that are all around each other are literally walking into the city, getting ready to go and tear up everything in its way. Everybody evacuate, because brother, stuff's about to go down. Stuff's about to shake. I'm telling you, stuff's about to shake. Stuff's about to move. Stuff's about to get scary out here. It's about to get dangerous. You better get to a mountaintop. Bring some binoculars, because directly after this fight, ain't gonna be no rest. It's gonna be Bam's, I'm here. What you gonna do? Who you with? And who wants it? Cause I'm ready for a title. I'm ready for undisputed. I'm ready to become the best pound for pound fighter in the world. Cause there ain't nobody else for me to beat. Cause if he beats Vargas, I've beaten everybody I needed to. That's the thing. So I promise you, or rather, I can almost assure you, that's gonna be the next fight. They fight and they go against. It's gonna be him versus Nakatani Inoue. And Bam's coming up. And also, I can't wait to see it. Also, let me see. M2, what's going on with you? How you doing? Good to see you. We appreciate you tuning in on the show with us today. Thank you so much for joining in on our live stream. We appreciate it. We love it. And we can't wait to see more of you on our show. You're going with Nakatani. Hey, man, he got a shot at winning. He got a good shot at winning, actually. If this gets into a blood and gut situation and we see that Inoue can't take the length and reach of Nakatani, all of a sudden that changes the whole dynamics of this fight and what it can be, no question about it. And truth, you got Nakatani by split decision. I don't think he can win by split decision. The fight's gonna be a competitive war. But if it's a war in this caliber, I'm the sharper fighter. I think it's gonna be the one that takes it, and I think that's Inoue. But I don't deny, if Nakatani can get a decision, that would shock me to my core. Because I'm telling you, I don't think Nakatani can win unless it's by knockout. I really don't, with what we're seeing Inoue do as a fighter. Let me see. No, Salvador Sanchez was the greatest fighter under 130 all time. And, and Barrera, thank you. Okay, thank you. I wasn't exactly sure where Salvador Sanchez was in his career. Because I know he's already been one of the best fighters I've ever seen, boxing-wise, before he sadly passed away. I get it. Watching his film, studying him as a boxer, insane, phenomenal. Mike Tyson said it best. If you were a bad fighter, you're going the distance. If you were a good fighter, he's knocking you out without remorse. I get that. I just didn't know where he was as a weighted fighter. So he was at 130. Okay, thank you. So it's either him or Barrera or Inoue. Shoot, that's some rare. Good gosh, that's a great day in the morning. That's some rare air. Shoot, that is some rare air. My gosh, I'm sorry. I get enamored with history, and I didn't realize That's the type of name caliber that we're potentially putting Inoue in if he wins this type of bout. That's dang, man. That's insane. That's insane. But he would have a greater he would have a greater resume and cultural impact. Okay, I see where you're saying. Let me see. The Japanese boxing scene will forever be changed and inspired by both Inoue and Nakatani for generations to come, regardless of who wins. I mean, you got Susumi, who coming in now, who's looking like the next big thing. You got a couple fighters out of Japan over there, out with the Western world, out east. Had to make sure I had my geography right. Like it coming out of the woodwork. It's real. Shoot, they getting to a point that we're seeing a trending stuff with even in not trying to be stereotypical. I love anime, and I'm saying I've seen a surge in people because watching Inoue fight. They've been looking up because they also like anime. Hey, just but the Japanese. I don't know nothing about the sport. I use animation and stuff to learn about stuff or just to be entertained. What's Hajime no Ippo? Next thing you know, that thing's trending on Netflix. It's getting people are buying up the mangas. People are looking up Joe, was the predecessor to the likes of Hajime no Ippo. Media is getting searched out because these two are looking so incredible. Because they want to see, hey man, is there something of this caliber in my own hobbies that I can see what this is about? Because this but is everywhere. They're causing people to research this sport in a multiplicity of ways across the globe for places where, to some degree, boxing wasn't necessarily the biggest thing, even though it was respected. It's a boom. It's a boom for an entire nation and beyond. And so it's incredible to see, no question about that. But let me see. There will 100% be a rematch. If the fight is good enough, if it's competitive enough, there'll be a rematch. If it's not competitive, there may not be a rematch. That's the thing. That's the scary part. If it's one-sided, like with Spence and Crawford, we said Spence and Crawford could be a trilogy. After Crawford beat Spence in the way that he did, then people were like, yeah, we don't want to see that again. Or they were like, we'll see it, but a whole new weight class. Because that down here, there's no debate as to who's who. So that's why I don't know. If it's good, yeah, it'll be a rematch. But if it's one-sided, even if it's a good fight, I don't know if people are going to be saying, we want to see a trilogy. I would like to see it, because that's what greats have done. Sugar Ray Robinson, Jake LaMotta, they fought like 7 times. Ali Frazier, they fought 3 times. George Foreman, Joe Frazier, they fought twice. Ken Norton, Ali, they fought 3 times. We've seen it. Bernard Hopkins, they fought twice versus Roy Jones Jr. Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran, they fought 3 times. They fought 3 times. They didn't just fight twice. They fought 3 times. Tommy Hearns, Sugar Ray Leonard, they fought twice. Like, this is what the greats do. I hope we see it. But again, the public may not want to see it. But if it does turn into a trilogy, well, take my money. That's what I can say. Take my money, no question. But also, good God, we got to pay it again. Hey, brother. Hey, look, man, I appreciate you giving alms to the empire, dispensing your wallets for the cause of making our country, of making our empire and our community oh so great and oh so grand. We appreciate the support, no question about it. And we want to see what you got to say on today. Matt Borgerson, Bam isn't fighting either next if Inoue loses. The careers of Inoue and Nakatani will revolve around each other from then on. Bam makes his own path. I'll say this. I don't agree, but I see what you're coming from. Because this fight could turn into its own continent of violence. It could turn into its own world where everything revolves around each other. I get it. And we got business to handle with each other definitively before we go and make a move up. However, I think because both Inoue and Nakatani have stated that Bam is a priority, as in elite priority, Inoue saying, I'm not moving up, essentially until I get that fight with Bam. Nakatani saying at 122, I don't know who else I want to fight up here except for Bam and Inoue. They both don't want to let Bam pass them by. And Bam doesn't want them to pass him by. This is a rare situation like we used to see back in the day, in the older days of boxing, where all parties at hand want smoke with each other and are belligerently saying, I want you and you want me. We're going to fight one way or another. It's like with Marvin Hagler when he fought against Tommy Hearns while also going through and ruling at middleweight. Don't forget, Sugar Ray Leonard wasn't at middleweight when Marvin Hagler was calling him out. He had stated for years, I don't care what happens next. I'm getting my fight with you one way or another. It's happening. With Mugabe and everybody else I got up here at middleweight, I'm getting you in this ring one way or another. Move up here and take me on. While he looked under, this is in the midst of Hagler's absolute prime. Leonard was still at 147 at that point, but he was still, the priority was already set. That's why I'm saying they can still prioritize each other. This can turn into a trilogy easy, but it's not going to be back to back to back because somebody's going to say, I'll get back to you. But this brother needs my attention now because we've already said to the public and each other, hey, we've been eyeing each other up for a minute, and it's time to see who's best between us, and we'll get back to you. Because this ain't over, but we got some stuff to handle. That's why I think we're going to see it happen in some way, shape, or form. In the midst of said trilogy, if it does turn into a trilogy, if it does, I'm not mad at it. I want it to happen. I would love to see it. But look at the history, look at history in the past. We had Benavidez, Beterbiev, and Bivol. What happened in that whole regard? Benavidez was in the midst of Bivol and Beterbiev, and they're fighting war with each other. Bivol, Beterbiev, they fought against each other. Beterbiev won the first time. Bivol won the second time. We wanted a trilogy, but who was right in the framework and injected himself into the position? Benavidez. I'm the man. I called you out. We got smoke. I made noise, and the public said we want to see that fight. Even in the midst of, we want the trilogy between y'all three. Because mind you, when that got announced, I said I was happy it happened, but I'm not saying I don't want to see that next. Because Benavidez deserves his shot. And the public was saying Benavidez deserves his shot. And that's the big issue. Because INOUE and NAKATANI are so much. And I don't say this in disrespect. I say this with what they've also said publicly. They are people pleasers. They want the fans to go home happy. And they value their opinion. If in the midst of this potential trilogy, if it happens, we see that the public starts saying, where's Bam? I guarantee you, somebody's going to say, we'll pick this up later. But Bam, I need to get you in the ring now. Because they will be more inclined to do what the fans say they want to have happen. Because they do value their input. So that's why I'm saying I'm wary to say that we're going to see Bam have to wait or make his own path. He's already made his own path. The whole reason why his path was so great was because this was the end goal for Bam at this point in time, which is phenomenal. Doesn't mean that his world revolves around him, but he was so great without Bam or without INOUE and Nakatani in his immediate vicinity that he got put in those conversations, and justifiably so. And so now he's earned the right. He earned the right to be talked about. We want that fight. That's the difference as to his career has already carved out a legacy that you've earned your ticket here. And now we want to see what you can do because you validated it to us before and without needing Nakatani anyway. And so that makes it's a landscape that, man, it's incredible. It is incredible. And that's why I want to see it. Let me see. Bam isn't fighting INOUE anytime soon. That's the thing. We're not getting that fight till 27 or till early or till we're not getting that fight until 2027 or 2028. Oh, no, 2027? Yeah. Most likely. Most likely. We won't get that fight till 2027. But I guarantee you, It's going to happen in 2027. If it happens at the end of this year, I mean, shoot. Hey man, hey, look, if they want to be that great, if they try to go and be like that, I'm dead serious. That imagine that they go straight from INOUE and NAKATANI to that winner immediately says, okay, we're fighting Bam. If that did happen, that'd be one of the gutsiest things I've ever seen. That'd be insane. They'd be like, I beat Duran, and now immediately I'm going after Leonard. Direct, without any wait time. If he did that, shoot, to put that into perspective, that would be like Tank fighting Devin Haney. Finally, we get that fight going down. And then immediately afterwards, all right, now it's time for Tank versus Shakur. Or the winner of that, they say, I'm fighting Shakur next outright. Oh my gosh. Like, that would be ridiculous. That would be preposterous. That would be legitimately insane to see take place. It would. It really would. So, I mean, it would be my dream. I might go broke, but it's my dream. Might go broke paying for them fights, but it'd be my dream if we got to see it. But like I said, 2027 most likely would be the day, the year that I could see it. But again, next year is the year I'm saying it's going to happen. I think 2028, I don't think it's going to wait that long. Because by 2028, anyway, it's going to 126. That's the thing. And anyway, he's trying to stay here for Bam at 122. And we're going over his timeline. Nakatani, he got some years here. But if it is anyway that wins, he's moving up to 126. That's his last stop. He's trying to stay down here to get that fight with Bam, if he can make it happen. But if not, then it is what it is. We'll have to wait till Bam gets up there. But either way, I'm excited to see it. Let me see. What will happen if INOUE unlocks the 7th gear? Well, see, if INOUE, here's the thing. If INOUE unlocks the 7th gear, we can fight up to 140. If he fights to a 7th gear, which again, for those of you that are new, a 6th gear in boxing, we talked about it with Terrence Crawford, Benavidez, Usyk, INOUE, and other fighters that are great. It's when you switch to a level that the rest of the globe cannot get to. They stall out while you're still revving up and you're getting better. You're all of a sudden turning into an even more demonstrative man or woman. And you just can't elevate to it. That's the 6th gear. When you flip the switch in a fighter and they turn to a whole new animal. If there's a gear beyond that we see INOUE get to, we're getting into Roy Jones territory now. We're getting into Roy Jones. Now you're getting into Ali, Roy Jones, Henry Armstrong, Sugar Ray Robinson. You're getting into that level. Because that is something that only those types of greats, Sugar Ray Leonard, that's something only those types of greats were able to get. Marvin Hagler. That whole Four Kings era. Sam Langford. We're getting into territory that is, we're going beyond era. We're going beyond eras. We're going into, you're outside the timeline of boxing, and now you're immortalized amongst the stars like Hercules. If we see him get to that level, one, and Nakatani can't do it either, because Nakatani got a 6th gear too. If INOUE gets a 7th gear, and we see that Nakatani can't do it, well, then Nakatani's getting knocked out. And I'm saying that this man can fight to 140. If he does that, I'm saying, I don't care if he thinks that his career should end at 126. Brother, if you get that gear, you better keep fighting until you can get the Manny Pacquiao at 147. Because you can be that great. Shoot, I think you already that great. You can do that. If you get to a 7th gear, you can do that. Again, mind you, I'm saying at Dale Anderson, I'm saying at 140. at 140, it would take a 7th gear level type of fighter. Again, Manny Pacquiao. And I think in a way smaller than Pacquiao. So that's why we're saying, yeah, it's nearly, 126 most likely is where it's going to cap out. But if he gets better in this gear vein, where you've even going beyond what you already are, you go beyond that. That's like comic books. I'm a big fan of comics. That's like the Hulk. You got Bruce Banner. When he gets mad, he turns into the Hulk. But you gotta understand, there's another level to the Hulk, because the Hulk has his own Hulk that if he gets mad enough, he turns into that. And you know who can only be that type of Hulk? Gods and monsters beyond our mortal plane. Literally, in comics. That's what I'm saying. If, in a way, right now, his gear is turning into the Hulk. But if his own Hulk has a Hulk, that if he gets pushed to the brink, he goes beyond that. Again, we're talking about Roy Jones Jr., and we're talking about some of the 5 greatest fighters we've ever seen. And he has the capacity to get up to 140 and beat him. Anybody up there? Yes, he does. Because that type of gear would make you be able to compete and beat those types of names. Yeah, that's insane. Yeah, that's preposterous. Oh my gosh. Like, you gotta understand. We value this 6th gear because the 6th gear is a place in time where your skill sets max out to their absolute limit. That's what I've always categorized as the 6th gear. If you go beyond that, that means that there was a pool of potential we didn't know you had. And we're already talking about you as potentially the best in the world. Like, what that opens up would be ridiculous if that did happen. My goodness, man. Shoot, that's a scary thought. That's a really scary thought to hear. To see that take place. Oh boy, let me see. Sugar Larry is the best boxer of all time. He's in my top 10. Best boxer of all time. I'm not exactly sure because there's so many names, but no, he's one of the 10 best in history. I've said he's one of the 10 best in history. And you can tell him against anybody. I completely understand. I completely understand. My best is Sugar Ray Robinson. That's my greatest of all time. But no, anybody in that framework has a respectable argument because, yeah, they're that great. Let me keep on reading because there's a lot of people that were chatting. I'm not trying to hold you all up. Bam wants to fight Vargas first, then move back down and collect the last belt for Undisputed in the weight class he's been fighting. I feel it's going to be a while until the fight happens. If that does happen, then hey, you predicted it right. From everything I've seen, he wants to get this fight one way or another. But yeah, if he moves back down, goes and keeps on cleaning house, cool, no problem. Now, granted, I don't know who else there is to fight because he's been so dominant. I don't think he's undisputed. So he wants undisputed. But like after that, it's gonna be, cleaning the house. Like he's beating just about everybody you can even think of. Because he's just that great. So it might be that legitimately people just run out of names to random fight against. Let's see. Why is Anthony Joshua not fighting Deontay Wilder? Also, I completely forgot. We can actually go and slip into the world of the championship rounds because we're at the 2-hour mark of this show. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to work and it's time to go and transition over. We got the championship rounds to discuss, and it's time for us to switch gears. And now the floor is yours. Come on. Whatever you want to discuss in the world of boxing and beyond, it's time for you all to get your voices heard and let yourself go. We can still talk about INOUE and NAKATANI. We're not getting away from the discussion, but now the gate is open that whatever you would like to discuss and talk about, you can delve into right here on this show. Movie, sports, television, video games, NBA, NFL, boxing, and beyond. Other topics beyond just this weekend's action. Some of the other fights that are happening on the card. We can talk about all of that. Absolutely. I want to hear from your thoughts and opinions, and I want to get your input on it all because, hey, we're here to talk sports, and we're here to entertain. And hopefully, I've been doing that with you all. And please, if you can, share the show with everybody that you know and keep on on liking the stream. Yes, come on. Keep on liking the stream and keep on sharing the show. And we want to hear your thoughts and reactions. But I'm trying to read with everybody's chats right now. Why is Anthony Joshua not fighting Deontay Wilder? Well, because he's fighting Tyson Fury. Yeah, if you didn't hear, Anthony Joshua is fighting Tyson Fury for the title. He was talking about it may be a tune-up fight, but now his tune-up fight is against Pringa, which, smart decision. Because, yes, Pringa is, the respectable fighter, and, AJ should win. Wilder, yes, is a worse fighter, but I think the power dynamic was something he didn't want to risk. Also, I think this is also Usyk guiding Joshua to tune him up to be able to actually get his skills tested technically. Not just, big time power, big time pop. Now that this AJ fight's going down. I think that's why. Because Wilder, it would just be, would AJ get better fighting Wilder, trying to prepare for Tyson Fury, or would AJ just be, okay, can you take a punch? And the answer already is no, is no. Yeah, I get it, back-to-back big-time fights. I would have loved to see it. But I was always saying AJ shouldn't take a tune-up fight at all and just straight up go into Fury because I don't want anything going wrong. But with somebody like Pringa, if this is the tune-up, the power's a lot less dangerous, and they want to see what AJ looks like with the training of Usyk. Technically. Not just can you crack with the best of them. So I think that's why they're going this route. Now, I would love to see him fight Wilder afterwards. But I think that's why they're going with, again, in my estimation, that's the best skepticism that I can say about the whole situation. Anyone would be considered the new Pac-Man. I think at this point, people are already talking about him as getting comparisons to him. I was one of the first to compare him. Or I'm not going to say one of the first. I was one of the people that compared him to Pacquiao, saying how far he can get up. And he's today's Pacquiao. For a lot of people, he's today's Manny Pacquiao at this point in time. And so, it's real. Let me see. That's Gojo level. Yeah, no, it is. Hey, Daryl, look, you right. That's Gojo level. Also, how you doing? And salute to you. But yeah, no, that would be Gojo level. That's 7 gear, man. That'd be insane. Let me see. Random thought. Hashtag random. Ward versus Kovalev 1. Thoughts? Honestly, I've said, because I know they fought twice, I've said that Ward lost one of those fights against Kovalev. I think he lost the first one. Whichever one he got knocked down in, and it was like, man, it's getting shaky out here. Kovalev won that first one. Now I gotta go back and watch it. It was a good fight, mind you. It was a great fight, don't get me wrong. But I've always been, I don't think Ward won. I think Kovalev should have won that fight. But again, like I said, I'll go back and rewatch it to make sure I can validate. Because like I said, it's been a minute. It's been a minute, especially with this BENAVIDEZ stuff, INOUE stuff, and NAKATANI. I've been studying film on these guys so much. I mean, I'm getting confused trying to talk about other fighters because I've been thinking about it so much, or rather talking about it so much. But I think, I don't know if he won that fight. I've really been feeling, I've really been feeling that Kovalev should have won that. But like I said, it was close. It was close. Don't get me wrong, it was close. Let me see. I believe Ward did win number one, 114, 113. Times 2 were amazing cards. The fight, the scorecards, not mad at scorecards. It's just, I just think they went the wrong direction. But like I said, I gotta rewatch it because it's been a minute. Because I can watch it now and see like, oh, okay, yeah, he should have won. He should have. Like, okay, yeah, Ward was the right winner. But I'll go back concretely. I'll say I think Ward should have lost. But I'll go back and watch it and refresh my memory to make sure that it's valid. Because like I said, I could be wrong in that vein. But let me see. People are sleeping on Mercedes versus Munguia. That's the fight I'm more excited about because of the belt. 168 is starting to become deep. It is. It is. And I think we talked about this earlier in the week on Tuesday. That fight is a Munguia can't afford to lose this fight. With all the drama, with him and Saras popping dirty, getting knocked out, and since him training with Canelo, I haven't seen the improvement that I thought I should have. The name is there, and the excitement is there. Yes, but the issue is I don't see him improving. And Resendez can knock him out. Resendez can knock him out. Especially because it's going to be both of them meeting in the middle. I think Resendez is a sharper puncher. I think Resendez is a better technical fighter. Though Munguia is an active swarmer and brawler. I think that if we see Resendez keep some of that same posture that he had against Caleb Plant without having to worry about going left to right, he can beat Munguia. Because the talent level ain't that far off. It's not that far off from Munguia and Resendez. That's not me trying to devalue Munguia. That's Resendez as a fighter. And Munguia currently as a fighter. Yeah. It ain't that far away. And so don't be surprised if you have Munguia winning. Don't be surprised if we see him get upset. Don't be surprised in these slides. Let me see. I got Resendez winning that fight. I feel Munguia is a bit overrated. Munguia at 160. And let me take a second. Hold on. Let me take a second. Hold on. Got my healthy smoothie to carry me through the day. But Resendez, or rather Munguia, at 160 was not overrated. At 168, he was overrated. And do you know why he was overrated? It was because of Canelo. It was because of Canelo. I'm telling you, it was because of Canelo. It was. Canelo Alvarez made Munguia overrated. And why? Because he carried him. Jaime Munguia was not knocked out by Canelo because Canelo did not want to knock him out, and he said it. And he showed mercy in that fight. And because of that, people saw Munguia stand 12 rounds with Canelo. Put on an exciting fight. It was an exciting fight. Get up from a knockdown and not get finished. And they were saying, man, hey man, he's going to put up a great situation. And he did. He put up a valiant effort. Very valiant effort. But at 168, not the same brother. What he did doesn't translate to the same level of success up here like it was at 160. When he was 40-something and 0, putting everybody down. Everybody's like, oh my God, this man's a wrecking ball coming through. And because of that performance of Canelo, they pushed him. Hey, this brother's going to be the next big thing, even with his loss to Canelo. I even bought into it. Because I was like, I like to watch him fight. But that wasn't the case. That fight elevated the perception when it should have been, this isn't going to bode well as time goes on. And that's why he got pushed up to the moon. So, it's a shame, but it's the truth. It's a shame, but it's the truth. And so because of that, he got a lot of shine. He got a lot of shine for fights that he maybe shouldn't have been as favored against. He can still fight. He's still a good fighter, don't get me wrong. But yeah, overrated. It's not, at this point in time, yeah, it's not bad to say. It's not bad to say at all that people will call him overrated. Because to some degree, yeah, he kind of fits the bill. He kind of fits the bill. Let me see. I think somebody else came up. Salvador Sanchez was a crazy boxer. His head movement and the way he worked, breaking down from round 1 through 15, he was an animal. Absolutely, he was. Let me see. Bam Rodriguez versus the winner. Imagine that. And like I said, I would love to see Bam fight against INOUE. If he doesn't fight against INOUE, it says at 115, cool. I would think that there would be a world where maybe he stays at 118. And up here, goes through and says, all right, carve out my legacy. I'll go undisputed here. I'll beat everybody under the sun. And I'll catch everybody clean. And if he did that, I mean, it would still elevate him to pound for pound level status. Would it not? I would think so. It could bump him up from 4 to 3, 3 to 2. We really, and this is gonna be. People say this is sacrilege, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Really, people look at Shakur as pound for pound number 1, or within that top 4, and absolutely that's right. But with the way Bam's been moving, that brother, he's kind of separated himself from the pack of a lot of people. When it comes to, I got him as my 3rd best fighter in the world, but the gap between him and 4th, it's bigger than people are making it out to be. The talent of Shakur absolutely is warranted and worthwhile, but if you saw what Bam has been accomplishing at a younger age, and with almost, I think, as many fights, if not more fights, and quicker succession in activity, with people that are pound for pound in the division 1 through 5, just like we were seeing INOUE go through and run through the same way, and NAKATANI run through the same way. It's like, this, what else is there to say except for this man has done the work of a pound for pound top 3 to top 2 fighter, and the gap between him and 4 is a whole lot bigger than people are expecting it to be. He's without NAKATANI or INOUE. He's that great. He's that good. He's already had Hall of Famers on his resume. He's already knocked out and beaten some of the best of the small men in boxing with some of the most active people out here. Dangerous threats that should put him asunder, he's been able to put out with the greatest of ease, while also displaying power and technical ability on par with some of the best boxing minds that we have to offer. This man is cruising to a career that's going to be one of the 3 best careers of this era. Understand that. The best career right now, actively, is INOUE or Canelo Alvarez. Those are the 2 best careers right now. Usyk got himself a 3rd with 2-time undisputed at cruiserweight. And then after that, Shakur's career is great. Devin Haney's career, absolutely, definitely, with what he's been accomplishing, no question. But Bam has almost matched, or at least gotten enough to get close to Devin Haney at 25 years old. In less fights. He's done more than Shakur. He's done more than Tank. He's done more than, or just as much, or if not more than Tia. It's ridiculous to think about. I'm not trying to overblow. I'm saying this is real. Like, this man is incredible. He's phenomenal. And we should be looking at him without INOUE and NAKATANI by himself as one of the most potent stars in this sport that better start getting the respect. That's one of your names that should be seen as pound for pound one of the most marketable, as well as one of the best. One of the most known and talked about, as well as one of the best. He should be that. He should be that. Yeah, without a doubt, he should be that. And hopefully we do see him get that respect as his career continues to flourish. Because the spotlight is going to be on him. Not especially with all these smaller people in boxing getting the stuff up. It's going to be there. Also, real quick, and as we continue to go through, we still have some news that we need to cover, like with Raymond Murataya, because it seems like allegedly, per Hassan, prominent boxing social media person, got some video from ES News saying that Raymond Murataya got himself a fight, and that fight's with Shakur Stevenson. My goodness. Oh my God. I'm dead. I'm not lying. I'm not lying. I'm not lying. If you're looking, if I'm lying, I'm crying, and I ain't crying a lick. I'm gonna show you right now. Let me show you the video of exactly what's going down between Murataya and what looks to be Shakur Stevenson for the 135 title in the IBF championship. Hold on a minute. There we go.
Okay. Murataya. one of the best fighters in the world, top 10 pound for pound, 135 champ, beat Andy Cruz when no one gave him a shot. And now remember that Gabriel putting in work. Ray's looking strong, throwing those uppercuts.
Yeah.
Ready for whoever's next. Anybody can get it. Any message for Shakur if he's watching?
You know what it is. We've been getting a hold of their people. They know what it is. I mean, it has to get done. It has to get done.
Make the fight happen. Big fight.
No bullshit. No bullshit. I mean, they know what it is. We're probably getting a 70-30 and we're still taking the fucking fight, bro.
All right, there you have it. 70-30 for who?
They know. Not for us. I wish we're getting the 70.
70-30 for them?
Yeah, bro.
Sure.
And we're still saying yes, bro. And we're the champions.
70-30 split, and you're okay, and you're taking it.
We're taking it,
just
bro.
to take the opportunity.
We're taking it.
That means you really want
to. They're still like thinking about it. Oh, don't think about it, bro.
You really want to fight.
We're giving you everything. If people don't understand it, everybody talks shit. Everybody knows. Oh, this guy told me this. This guy told me no. Oh, Mike Copperman or whatever that. Oh, he said this. Not, bro. Well, I'm telling you, you're hearing it from the horse's mouth, bro. We're taking it, and it's that. And
you're accepting all the terms.
Well, we're accepting that money.
Yeah. Which is
that 70-30.
Well, 50-50 would be fair, to be honest with you. They're both champions.
Give us 50-50.
But it would be fair.
It would be fair.
But
it would be fair. You know why it would be fair? Because we're the champions.
Correct.
I know.
And you just beat Andy Cruz, which
I
is
know
amazing.
he has more fame than us, but we're the champions. You're fighting. You're coming to fight. We're the champions. You know, if you had a belt, if you would win at 140, then we would go fight you. Then you would be
No, here's the thing. They should put both belts on the line. The fight should be both for 135 and 40. Make way to 35.
Let's get it. That's the best.
I'm saying, no, I'm serious.
For sure.
Put both, and then the winner leaves with two divisions. That's what it should be. I'm serious.
Let's do it.
That's the way it should be done.
And so this is apparently, like you heard, to reach out to the people. Doggone it. I'm sorry. I had to. I had the video playing. Dang it. I had the video playing. I had the sound going. But it wasn't on the screen. Shoot. Dang it. Well, either way, I'll play it while I'll play it without sound. My gosh. While we're talking. That's my fault. I didn't mean to. I'm thinking that's on the side of my face. And y'all are watching it and listening to it. But y'all couldn't see it. So y'all will see it while I'm talking. But essentially, what you heard, I hate that y'all only heard it. What you heard, Murtaya, his trainer, manager, whoever the word it is, in the gym, right beside him was saying, we reached out to their people and reached out to Shakur. We want to fight Shakur. And we already said we're taking 730 split. Whatever else they want monetarily for this fight, we just want to fight. Even though it should be 50-50 because we the champs and you're coming back down here. Now, this tracks and what Shakur has been saying. He wants to come back down to 135 to try to take a title. Mind you, it got stripped from him when he fought you at 140, even though he was a WBC champion, because he didn't want to pay the fees, the stupid fees that we saw Suleiman trying to get him to pay, even though the belt wasn't on the line for said division. So, Shakur, without a belt, coming back down, seemingly, to go and fight for a belt at 135 against Ray Murtaya, and people want to see that fight, no question about that. Oh yes, if you didn't hear, people want to see that fight. We've been talking about that fight as a potential real big deal to go down for the likes of Shakur. If we got to see Murtaya fight against Shakur at 135, because that man, he not only got power, he's a great technical fighter. He went and fought and beat Andy Cruz, outboxed Andy Cruz. And if you can do that, not just knock him out, but outbox him, you can give yourself some real work to put yourself in good standings to beat, or at least test, really test, the likes of Shakur Stevenson. So the public is saying they wouldn't be mad at seeing this go down. And as you can see with the muted volume, but still the face of the man, this is the people around Raymond. They want that smoke. They want it. And I do too. So if you didn't hear the news, that's what potentially is going to be going down. But let me see. The Mexican Monster is going to be putting on a show on May 2nd. I strongly believe that he will. Again, we were talking about this earlier in the show. This whole show has been nothing but us describing and talking about the fights at hand. But yeah, Benavidez versus ZURDO. Y'all still got time to talk. Shoot, we can go a little bit longer with this episode since it's such a big time deal between the likes of with Benavidez, ZURDO, INOUE, NAKATANI, fights on the undercard, INOUE's brother versus INOUE. Speaking of which, I forgot, we had some other, even in Japan, shoot, we talk about, was it, Rock Tag got knocked out by the same brother that what's his name? I done forgot the brother's name. I forgot the brother that fought against INOUE's brother. The brother that lost to Floyd, then went 9-0 to get a shot at the title. Almost undefeated as a kickboxer, went and knocked out Rock Tag. Same brother who went against Demetrius Johnson. Again, for those of you who are in the outside of the boxing world. Rock Tag just got knocked out yesterday. I think it was yesterday, or at least 2 days ago. Whichever case, which shook up the landscape in what was a retirement fight. So it's like, my goodness, it's insane. But regardless of which, whatever you want to discuss, we can talk about it right here on this show because we're still in the championship rounds. But Mo Man, you talk about the Mexican Monster. This is his coming out party. This is his day in the sun. We have so many instances of situations where this man has been robbed of opportunities to make his presence felt in the global landscape of boxing and having the public view him as a dog in this sport. And by dog, I mean superstar. Not just a scary fighter, not just a man who is exciting to watch, but somebody that when his fights gets announced, people pay attention without another big name star on his heels, as well as a star who can go through and fight where he can get opportunities that originally he wasn't getting in the first place because he was too big of a threat and seen as, even as a big star, not big enough of a name. Excuse me. My apologies. But this fight can change all that. This fight can change all that. Every single situation of essentially overlooking Benavidez can stop today. And Benavidez, dare I say, I pick him to win. I'm picking him again to win this fight, but I'm going to do it in making this fight look very much like a normal Benavidez fight. That's what's going to be. I think it's going to be a normal Benavidez fight. It's going to be a fight that we see the complete domination. Even though I respect Ruiz, when it comes to an inside versus inside affair, and I've said this on multiple, I'm saying this now if I haven't said it before, Benavidez is and will be a better fighter on that night. Benavidez, defensively, is going to stifle a lot of the onslaught that Ramirez is going to try to throw and nullify the movement, the pivoting. More importantly, take away the ducking of ZURDO and turn it into offensive firepower where ZURDO has to just straight up stick with them, get him to the ropes, and try to bang him out. And I forgot to bring this up when talking about this fight. But do you know why the biggest reason why this fight is going to be hard for ZURDO to win? Even though he's a bigger fighter, with the bigger frame, with what should be bigger power. And it goes back to the clips of him training or sparring against ZURDO when they were fighting against each other. Let me show you. Let me. I'm gonna play it one more time. Because we already played it earlier. But there's a specific point I want to show you. There's one other reason I forgot to say as to why Benavidez is going to beat ZURDO Ramirez. And on top of everything else that we've already talked about, it's because watch the work. And I want you to tell me what you don't see ZURDO Ramirez doing in response to Benavidez attacking. Be clear. I want you to put in the chat, what do you see ZURDO not doing when Benavidez is attacking? That would be the thing to stifle what Benavidez can do offensively. I want you to take a look at that as I'm going to play this clip right now for you all to be able to see exactly what's going on. In fact, I'll play it full screen. I'm going to play it full screen. Forget half screen. I'm going to play it full screen so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. And have it so the whole of this picture gets painted. But look at this and tell me what you don't see ZURDO doing. Make sure it, okay, yeah, there we go. I'm sorry, I'm paranoid because I want to make sure y'all can actually see the screen. Okay, here we go. Let's play it and tell me what you don't see ZURDO doing.
David combination, pop, 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 pop. Shoot, combination, pop, 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 pop. And it just keeps going back and forth, you know, and you're entertained the whole time.
What did you see ZURDO not do in the entirety of that clip? The entirety of this about 27, 25 seconds of spark that they've had in the gym. That Golden Boy, I don't own this, Golden Boy put this out. What is ZURDO? ZURDO's in the blue. I'm gonna play it again. I'm gonna play it muted this time. ZURDO's in the blue. He's in the blue. What is he not doing? In all of these clips is one specific thing. We talked about he's not ducking down. We talked about how his pivoting isn't working. We talked about a bunch of the offensive onslaught on the inside. What is he not doing that you can see in all of these clips when they're engaging with each other in close range? You got it? You got it? Do you have an answer? Because if you don't, I'm about to tell you. What he's not doing is one of the most important things that we've seen to stifle and stop Benavidez's game. ZURDO isn't clinching. ZURDO isn't clinching. That's been one of the biggest bread and butter opportunities to stop the avalanche of offense that Benavidez brings to the table, is to clinch him, hold him, walk him to the ropes, stop his momentum. ZURDO is not doing that. ZURDO doesn't do that. ZURDO wants to just bang it out. Go back and watch all of his other fights previously. He wants to bang it out. Close range is his domain, sure, but he wants to bang out with the best of them. But that's not going to work. Because the whole point of why this frame of ZURDO was supposed to be so dangerous was because he could smother the work of Benavidez, as well as hurt him, because of his size. But now, as we've seen with them fighting before, if this translates into the fight again, Benavidez is going to be able to work with his hand speed and with his openings, like with his uppercuts and hooks, stop the ducking, stop the pivoting, but also he's going to be able to operate exactly where he wants to fight, unabated, unhinged, unrestrained. Because unlike with David Lemieux, unlike with Caleb Plant, unlike with Boo Boo Andre, unlike with even Gvozdyk, unlike with David Morrell, there is no clinching going on to stop Benavidez working. Anthony Yard, same thing. There's no clinching going on in this fight, unlike with all the other fights that forced Benavidez to stop his offensive momentum. And because that's not happening, Benavidez is going to be able to work in any way that he so chooses without any recourse of restraint. And Benavidez is about to have a bad time. Or ZURDO, excuse me. He's about to have a bad time. The Benavidez is about to show he's a bad man. And if he's landing this clean, this unrestrained, on the ropes or in the middle of the ring against ZURDO, that stoppage that we talked about, it may not be straight up KO, but the stoppage of having the capacity to damage and break the opponent's face, oh, you better believe it's there. You better believe it's in the books. You better believe it's possible. You better believe it can happen. And it can get dangerous. It can get dangerous for the likes of ZURDO. Because this right here, it can be too much for him. It can be too much for him. I guarantee you. Mark my words. Mark my words. It can be too much for him. But is there anything else anybody wants to say on our show? We got so much stuff that we can talk about and discuss. We got even still, even amongst us talking, we have more news that we can delve into if you would like to delve into it. When it comes to the world of boxing and beyond, we can also go through, where's it right here? We have some news with, crazy enough, everybody's calling out Shakur right now, and everybody's saying that Shakur now potentially is slated to fight not just Raymond Murtaya. He's got O'Shaquie Foster calling him out after he beats Raymond Ford, if he beats Raymond Ford at the end of May this month. I'll play that clip right now so you all can see what's going down in that framework, and nobody else has any response. After that, then we can wrap this show up and send it home and get ready for Thursday afternoon on our show.
I mean, he kind of said himself.
Not Thursday, today is Thursday. Friday afternoon, excuse me, on our show. Before I do, let me make sure I can actually play the clips. Let me make sure y'all can see it. Can y'all see it? Okay, y'all can see it. Let me play this last couple clips, and then we're going to go and get on out of here. This is O'Shaquie Foster saying he wants to fight Shakur. Next.
I mean, he kind of set himself up with
And
this
y'all
fight.
can't
He
hear it.
said,
My gosh, hold on a
this
minute.
is man's. He said he ain't giving him up. I mean, he kind of set himself up with this fight. He said, this is man's. He said he ain't giving him an opportunity till he gets to. I give him an opportunity. Well, here go his opportunity. After I crush him, you're going to have to stand on your word. I mean, he kind of set himself up with this fight.
So there you go. So essentially saying, hey, brother, if I give Raymond Ford a fight, you better give me mine. If I beat Raymond Ford like I know I can, you better give me mine. And O'Shaquie Foster versus Shakur. Though it's a higher weight limit, most likely we'll be coming back down to 135 with Shakur, which already being talked about, like I said, Raymond Murtaya. It would be a very intriguing affair because people have been saying O'Shaquie Foster as a boxer is somebody who he may not get the same level of respect, but he got some skills, especially in terms of reach, using that length, using that jab. That Stephen Fulton, what he did against him, ain't just a fluke. And if he dominates Raymond Ford, because to be clear, he's going to need to dominate Raymond Ford to make it believable for me that he can beat Shakur or compete with Shakur. But if he does, all of a sudden there's a little bit of interesting situations that I, for one, will be very intrigued to see take place. But even still, we got to get out of here. We got to end this show. Unless there's something else anybody wants to say, we're going to give you one last roll call on the championship rounds when it comes to our show. Anything else in the world of boxing and beyond that you would like to discuss on the day, you can talk about it right now. NBA, NFL, boxing, movie, sports, television, all that stuff, video games and the like, whatever you like to discuss, you can talk about it now. If you have nothing else to say, well, that's no problem. We'll get ready for Friday, and we'll get ready for the championship rounds all day tomorrow afternoon. But with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if this show is finished, what looks like it is, we're going to see you all on tomorrow. But we got to go and end off this show. So, ladies and gentlemen, with all of that being said, where's that? Oh, no, wait. Oh, that's the wrong. I'm clicking on the wrong thing. There we go. With all that being said, we thank you for tuning in. And ladies and gentlemen, this has been an episode of The Worshipper with me, your host, Sean Lewis. We thank you so much for tuning in on our show and hanging out with us on this Thursday afternoon. Hopefully, we made you incredibly entertaining. Hopefully, we made your day incredibly exciting and incredibly enjoyable. Thank you to Matt Borges and everybody else who supported our stream on today monetarily, and also everybody who chatted in the chat down below. We appreciate all your support. We love all your interactions. We can't wait to see you all on tomorrow talking about boxing and talking about the world of sports as a whole, and letting your questions and comments be seen and heard for the masses to witness and enjoy and to be a part of the conversation. Leave a like on the video before you leave, because one like does a world of difference to help us out in making this show bigger, better, and stronger. Also, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Come on and join the empire. Be a part of of the hottest show in all of the globe right here on YouTube and on every podcasting platform imaginable. You can listen to us wherever you listen to podcasts. Hit the notification bell on this channel so you can make sure you keep up with us whenever we go live or whenever we post right here on YouTube. And please be sure to do the two most important things, which is if you can't support the channel, we got Cash App, PayPal links down below, super chats and super gifts, or super chats, stickers, gifts, and the likes. You can do down on the screen if possible. Also, we got links in the description as well if you can afford to give to the show. And the other most important thing, which is to share the show with everybody that you know so we can keep on building up this empire together. And we thank you all so much for tuning in and being a part of our humble abode of a community. And also, we got to end off the poll. For the last of the poll, we got, was it 76? We had, 69% of you felt that INOUE is going to beat NAKATANI, and only 31% think NAKATANI is going to beat INOUE. Well, with how that goes, we will find out come this weekend. We're going to talk about more about it tomorrow afternoon. Top 5 chatters for today's episode. As you can see on the bottom of the screen, number 1 was Matt Borgeson. Congratulations on being the pound for pound number 1 chatter on our stream. Number 2 was I Need a Bird. Number 3 was Dale Anderson. Number 4 was Wise Man. And number 5, rounding out the top 5 pound chatters, was Wagner. Joshine Wagner, how you doing? And we appreciate all of you commenting on our show. And if you want to be a part of the top 5, keep on chatting, keep on engaging, and keep on giving. Like I said, the monetary total is only accumulation of, I don't know how this thing works. Essentially, puts everything into a dollar standpoint. That's how this whole thing works. But either way, that's how it equates who chats more or less. We value all of you on our stream. We can't wait to see you all next time. But ladies and gentlemen, I have been Jean-Luc Welch. You all have been absolutely wonderful. Be safe. Be blessed. I'm sorry. I messed up. I've been Jean-Luc Welch. Y'all been wonderful. Peace and love. We are out of here. Yes, sir. We're going to see you all on Friday for the championship rounds. Enjoy your weekend. I'm all messed up. I'm sorry. I'm all messed up. Let's try this one more time. I've been Jean-Luc Welch. Y'all have been absolutely wonderful. Peace and love. We are out here. Yes, sir. There we go. We're going to see you all on Friday afternoon. Salute to you. Be safe and be blessed. And we can't wait to see you all on Friday. Same time, same place, same channel. And hey, peace and love. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. And we are out of here. Can't wait to see y'all tomorrow for more boxing and sports talk. And hey, have a great rest of your day.